Alrighty then. You guys hear me?
I hear you.
That's good. You know what sucks?
What?
That doesn't suck, but I was like, I'll definitely be done playing this game of online Magic the Gathering cards before my stream starts. I am the tail end of match 3 of this Magic the Gathering cards. Can't stop now.
Well, how are you doing? Is the question.
I think I'm winning. It's game 3. I have 17 life. My opponent has 7. I'll turn off this too. And what do I have? I have a Planeswalker in my hand.
Okay.
Put it up on the stream. Oh fuck! He just attached Rabbit Battery to Selfless Samurai. That's really bad. Although I can keep his Selfless. All right, hold on. No, I have a good strategy for this.
All right.
Anyway, welcome everyone to the Monday Night Grift, where I am clearly taking the show very seriously and not playing Magic cards. I'm here, of course, with everyone who you love. There they all are. And Pete's here as well. Hi, Pete.
Howdy, everyone.
Pete, I have a Moon Snare Specialist, a Kami of Terrible Secrets. He's swinging with the Selfless Samurai. Oh, this game just got so complicated. Now I'm going to have to use Tamio to tap his Simian Sling. This is not a good stream at all. Anyway, while I deal with this situation, why don't you two introduce yourselves?
ahead,
Bob, how would we know you, Bob?
You probably don't, because I've only ever made 5 videos.
Yeah.
In the past.
How they get
2
you?
years, so. Yep. So, but I've edited for Vito before, so
that's true, and you did a very good job of it.
Thank you very much.
And you are beloved by the Vito Nation. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
And Pete, again, you're back. Our favorite journalist, working hard in the paint, getting the stories that America deserves. Yes.
Yeah, working hard, hardly working.
Yeah.
A little too obsessed with Elden Ring, but yeah, doing a lot of writing. The Hatboard podcast is pumping and busy putting out content every week, and my Elden Ring review should be coming out tomorrow morning. So,
and I should review video games. The problem is, I don't know how. Oh, like you did you beat Elden Ring? You didn't beat it, did you?
No, but I've put probably way too many hours for the time I've had the game. I think my counter today was 76.
Yeah.
No,
well, that's fair enough.
Now, to be fair
ahead.
though, that's like sometimes I'd walk away and do other things, but I'll admit I've probably put too many hours into this than that's probably healthy.
Yeah, well, I guess that's always the question: is at what point are you ready to review a video game? Because some people, I know there's this thing where they go, "Can you believe these video game journalists don't even beat the games they review?" I'm like, well, some of these games are 70 hours long. What do you want them to do? I mean, and it depends on who it is. I mean, if they get a salary from some journalist association, I could understand saying, "Oh, but that's your job and you have to review the whole thing." But the truth is, man, a lot of these guys working at these game journalist outlets, like I used to work for a place, it would pay me like $50 an article. I'm not going to play a 40-hour RPG for $50. I don't know. It's complicated.
Yeah, there are factors like, I think I read, maybe it was Forbes or was Eurogamer, where one of them admitted, yeah, when they gave us review copies, they said we could only review these 2 parts of the game. So if you're wondering why everyone seems to be covering the exact same section of the game and using all the same
that's weird.
The same thing, that's why.
Yeah. Well,
there are all kinds of weird constraints that are happening that I don't think readers are aware of.
Yeah, jeez. But you do like it, I assume.
Oh, it's the best thing both Miyazaki has put out, I think, so far, and the best thing George R.R. Martin has put out probably in years.
Yeah, the funny thing with George R.R. Martin is that all the talk about the game, he like how hard did you work on that thing? He's like, oh, I forgot it was even coming out. I sent him like a Word document like a couple years ago, and then we never talked again. But they seem nice. You're like, oh man, that's pretty funny.
Didn't it come out that he barely did anything for the game? He just made a basic outline for the world, and then everything else was very from software.
It's all, the question is, he was in charge of the world building. You know, you never. So he probably gave him a very generic template of, you know, here's some ideas you can use. Here's some different races that might be interesting to talk about. But yeah, it's hard to know exactly
what they
happened.
have so far from looking this up, researching it for the review, is that in the early processes he was more involved, but that's okay. George R. R. Martin, I don't know if he's ever been diagnosed, but he's got serious ADHD brain. He's really good at starting projects, not so great at finishing them.
Yeah, well, that book doesn't seem like it's ever coming out. I tell you what, that any of he's like 2 books. What does he have? 2 or 3 books remaining that he's got to do for Game of Thrones. We're never going to see him. It's never happening.
I'm almost willing to bet money on that.
He's not that young. I mean, he's not like he's in the healthiest shape of his life. Real quick, can I get a shot of a George R. R. Martin? Let's see how this man's looking. Georgie R. R. Martin. Let me see. Yeah, not looking, not the healthiest looking bloke, I'm gonna say. It looks okay, I guess. Oh, I have my screen all gigantic. I'll fix that in a second. Let's bring in, and John is here. John is here.
What's up, boys?
John, the king of breaking bad news, performing a valuable service for our nation.
You need broken, send me an email. johnbreaksbadnews@gmail.com.
John, did you play Elden Ring yet, John?
I have not.
Are you gonna? Are you a video gamesman? Are you a gamesman, John?
I am very casual as far as video games go. I really want. I played the 3rd Dark Souls game, and I got up to the first boss. He killed me immediately, and then I got really angry, and I never picked it up again.
Oh, you made it further than I did. I walked off a waterfall during the tutorial and gave up.
Well, I don't think there's any shame in what do you call it? Not being a hyper video gamer or whatever else. It's hard to make time for this stuff.
Yeah, if I had more time during the day, I would probably spend more time playing some games. But the way my life is set up currently, I don't have a whole lot of time for it. So I wish I did.
Have any of you guys made time for a Batman?
No.
Am I the only one here who's seen the Batman?
You might be the only one here that's seen the Batman.
That's perfectly reasonable, because you know what we can talk about just Batman in general. Let me bring up some Batman here. Let me put a trailer on the screen real quick. How do I do that? I do this. So many layouts. The Batman trailer, yes. Look at that Batman. Oh, Batman. Wait, if I put it over here, does it still work? Oh, now I hear myself twice because oh no, I've done something horribly wrong. Okay, that's much better. The Batman. Well, gentlemen, are you going to see the Batman? That becomes the question.
Yes,
you're not burned out on Batmans.
I've heard that it's coming out on HBO Max in a couple of weeks, so I'm just gonna wait. Because I don't need to go and I feel bad saying that because I when I saw the trailer,
I think that's reasonable. That's a reasonable take. You know,
I saw the trailer for it when I went to go see Spider-Man because the only Marvel stuff that I really follow is the Spider-Man series. So, but I saw the trailer for this and I was like, wow, this looks like an actually good take on Batman. It looks interesting and it looks really well shot, and I'm a sucker for that kind of film, big budget movie, but it looks like a film kind of thing.
Well, I can tell you that having just seen it today, that yes, it is a stunningly attractive movie. Now, this director is what? His name is Matt Reeves. What else did Matt Reeves do?
The name rings a bell.
For what? We're going to find out right now. The WB drama series Felicity. Well, there you go. That's why it looks so good.
Yeah, obviously.
He's got that Felicity eye.
That's the logical connection. If you're looking for someone to adapt Batman,
you go Felicity.
You go to the 90s, yeah.
You go after you go home. All right, let's be clear. Reeves, however, gained widespread attention for what did I say? Widespread attention. You ever catch yourself saying a word completely wrong and it just like breaks your brain? You're like, am I retarded? I might be retarded.
What's better is when you keep saying a word over and over and it stops being a word.
Yeah. Well, he gained widespread attention for directing the hit monster film Cloverfield in 2008. Good for him.
I hated that movie.
Did you hate that one?
Yeah.
Was that not a good time?
It's just like any movie that spends like 2 hours wasting your time just to give you like kind of a look at half of what you wanted to see the whole time.
That's every movie now, I think.
I know.
Every movie is a waste of everyone's time. Well, after Cloverfield, he went to make the romantic horror remake Let Me In. I did not see that. And the critically acclaimed science fiction sequels Dawn of the Planet of the Apes and War for the Planet of the Apes. You know what's interesting? I never saw any of those new Planet of the Apes movies.
Not even the first one?
No.
Where it's
it's like a lab or something.
Who they have? Goblin, the guy that did a Disaster Artist. James Franco, that first one.
I thought you were calling the director a goblin, and I was like, that's very offensive.
Oh, I was just saying. I was trying to think of the guy's name. I had his face in my head. But Franco, yeah, that first one's actually pretty good. But it has, I mean, honestly, that movie could have everything to do with Planet of the Apes or nothing, and that's probably why it's the most watchable Planet of the Apes movie there ever was.
Well, I'll say this. So here was my concern going into the Batman, or when they announced the Batman in general, was this idea that they're like, well, it's it's Bruce Wayne again, and I'm like, oh my god, how many times are we gonna do Bruce Wayne? I've seen Bruce Wayne. I know everything I need to know about Mr. Bruce Wayne, and I'm getting a little tired of him. I want to see like Batman Beyond or something, but we have not gotten that. I don't know if we're ever gonna get anything like that. It's just bizarre that we keep getting. I was like, are they going to show his fucking mom die again? Do I got to watch that again? You know, like how many times we're going to do the same thing over and over? And thankfully, this movie is pretty good because we don't have to see the parents die, which is phenomenal.
Not even a little bit. Like they don't like show any clips of it or anything like that.
I mean, like it's the Batman. No, there's no flat. You do see his dad. His dad as like is kind of like part of the plot in terms of like his past political career. So you see like old news footage of him being Robert Wayne, the great politician or whatever. What was his name? Thomas Wayne. But ultimately they just kind of get straight to the Batman. It's a young Batman. In the movie we learn he's been doing it for about 2 years. And I don't know, man. I was like, this is pretty darn good. Now, there's a mystery at the center of it with the Riddler. That was kind of boring and stupid. The mystery was not nearly as cool as maybe it could have been.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Just because the mystery was very much like pretty standard, like mob stuff. It was like, the mob, who's an informant? Who's the rat? The mob and all this nonsense. And I was like, I don't know. That's not that interesting. So that could have been cooler. There could have been more of that going on. But the guy playing the Riddler was Paul Dano. Do you know Paul Dano?
Not off the top of my head.
I'll give you a hint. Someone drank this man's milkshake. Did you ever see There Will Be Blood? Because of the worst movie, people. I swear to God. You never saw There Will Be Blood?
That's the
I did see There Will Be Blood,
movie, right?
But I haven't seen it in so long.
He was the stupid little preacher kid that was driving everybody up a wall. Well, I tell you what, he puts in a great performance as the Riddler. A spooky, scary kind of guy.
Like
guys, I hate to tell you, I'm almost done with this game of Magic the Gathering. I really am. Because once this Magic the Gathering game is done, all bets are off. Come on. Why can I not just finish this fucking match?
So we'll check back in on the Magic game. Are you winning yet?
My clock's running out, so no. I only have 4 minutes left on the clock. My opponent has 8 minutes left on the clock. And I am swinging in with Unforgiving One. Kami, come on, just die. You have one card in hand. It can't be anything at this point. Anyway, so I would recommend this film. But here's the question is, what does DC Comics have other than Batman at this point? Is there any other DC Comics character that you would want to see a movie from at this point?
Actually, this brought up something I was thinking about recently with the Flash. I don't remember when the news broke, but they're talking about they're doing the whole Flashpoint storyline. Are you guys familiar with that?
Yes. Yeah, it's probably the best DC story in the last 15 years.
Yeah, I have mixed feelings about it because I feel like it's a really great story arc, but also to do that as the first solo Flash movie feels a little bit like you're missing out on a bunch of the emotional weight behind what made it so impactful for the Flash as a character.
Well, they rush everything at DC, like everything, like all the Justice League stuff. It was like fast tracked so they could catch up and like have their own Avengers to compete with Marvel.
Right.
Which is a silly way to look at it, because just take the time and do it the right way, and then you'll have like a good franchise.
Let's see, it's about the money. And if you wait to have a good franchise, you have to wait for the money.
I don't think Ezra Miller would be a good pick, though, for a Flashpoint story. He's not. He just, I don't know. The guy just doesn't carry the maturity you'd expect to.
Ezra Miller is a psychopath. Let's go watch him beat up women real quick. Ezra Miller choking. Oh, it's the first result. Fantastic. Yeah. Well, here's the problem with the Ezra Miller Flash is that he's not like the regular Flash is not like an autistic 12-year-old the way Ezra Miller is. Here he's choking a woman for fun.
Learn it.
I love it. Here he goes again. Hey! Hey! Why is he doing that?
What is he doing? What sparked that?
Wait, you've never seen the video of Ezra Miller randomly choking women? It's like his favorite thing in the world. What are you talking about?
Why did he throw her on the ground?
Because he loves nothing more than choking women, as all DC heroes do. I don't know what to tell you, man. This guy, this Ezra Miller is not the best person. Because let's look at Flashpoint, DC, whatever. Normally the Flash is like a pretty. I don't know. He's a rugged hero. He's more like a Chris Pratt type, honestly.
Yeah.
When I look at him, square jawed, built kind of. I mean, he's a little scrawnier. He has more of obviously a runner's build than a Batman. Mm-hmm. But when I look at Ezra Miller again, I just see a little man in a fun coat and a scarf who chokes women. I don't see the heroic Flash. Oh, slow motion. Here we go. She was having fun. She's like, oh, this will be fun. And then he actually chokes her for some reason. Apparently she was like ripping on him in a bar or something, and he got really mad about it. I don't even know.
I agree with what he did.
Yeah, I think if you're the Flash, you're allowed to choke at least one woman a year. That's fair, right?
She was bigger than him too. So
she was a big lady. She could take it. She could handle it. All right, I've got it. Where are all my? Now I got to find all my. All right, I got all my windows. All my windows are here. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what DC does other than Batman, because we're supposed to. What was the other DC movie? Oh, they're doing like Black Adam, right? They haven't put anything.
Oh yeah. Though. Besides the fact that it's Dwayne Johnson.
Is this a real teaser? Black Adam teaser trailer?
I feel like that movie has cooked forever.
An official first look, but are they actually gonna? Is this it? Is this the official?
Watching around the.
I haven't not seen this. You guys can hear the video, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, green screen that guy.
Hey DC fandom, and hello to everyone watching around the world. I am so excited right now to be here and to talk to you about the man in black himself, Black Adam. Now, as you guys know,
Is anybody
this
getting
character, this
Uncanny
film,
Valley
this universe
vibes
has been a
right now?
gigantic passion project
Like
of
he's
mine
just a
for
robot?
a
Pretty bad
very
green
long
screen.
time. And I have worked so
It's
hard,
actually a deep
worked
fake
these hands,
of,
these
Yeah.
calluses,
Quentin
my
Johnson.
fingers to the
They couldn't afford
bone
him.
on this project because it's the kind of project that I know comes along once in a lifetime. And the truth is,
Can you imagine being The Rock and saying this is the kind of role that only comes along right? You're in every fucking movie. You know, there's a once in a lifetime opportunity to be in a big franchise film. You're in every big franchise film. What is this man talking about?
Well, in all of all the rules to say that about Black Adam, really? Not
Black
Superman.
Adam.
I don't even know what that is.
I don't either.
Are you saying you don't even know who Black Adam is?
I've been in comic book stores. When I was growing up, I was a big comic book kid. I have no idea.
You know the famous comic character White Adam, right?
No.
That's a joke. There is no White Adam, you dumb motherfucker. He's the guy who fights Shazam. He's Shazam's bad guy.
Wait,
I don't. Yeah,
he's a
he's supposed to be a
villain?
villain, but you know, because it's The Rock, they're gonna find a way to make him like a anti-hero, but like a good anti-hero or something.
And this is
I don't know.
once in a
Let's just let The Rock explain it. This is ridiculous.
I was born to play Black Adam.
No, you weren't.
That
You were
one.
born to wrestle. I hate that. I was born to do this thing. You were born to be in Jungle Cruise, The Rock. You weren't born for that role. All right.
We've just started the post-production process, which is so exciting. And the film has, without question, some of the biggest action sequences I have ever been a part of. And I am so proud and excited of our incredible team who are working away to create breathtaking, holy shit scenes that I know.
Whoa. DC is supposed to be PG-13 at most. I can't believe you said holy shit. That's not okay.
Times are changing, Vito.
Not to mention DC is supposed to be like the Christian. Did you ever see Man of Steel? They tried to market it as like a Christian movie.
I feel like
you're
I remember.
saying holy shit. All right.
Oh, you're really going to love. Now, even though we're still working away,
Holy cocksucking fuck. He talks about for what? From 1 minute for 3 minutes, he talks about this clip that is only 20 seconds long. Just show me. Who is Black Adam? Okay. Oh, they got those horns. Womp.
She's out.
This could be any science fiction movie.
It does look very generic, I'll tell you that. Like, I feel like I've seen this shot a million times. The slowly rise. What is this thing? I'm a guy. Ooh. Dude, I've definitely seen this shot a million times.
Some of the sequences.
Oh, yeah. Suck 'em dry, dude. That was kind of cool. I'm alright with that. That was dumb. How did you count one bullet? There was like 1,000 bullets. There we go. Oh my god, I can't imagine being a DC Comics fan right now. I can't imagine being any kind of comic book fan. Comic book movies are just what was the last good comic book movie? Not Birds of Prey. Jesus Christ. Suicide Squad.
Did you not like the latest Spider-Man film that we just was out like
3
months ago?
I got to admit, I haven't finished it. I should actually watch it.
Oh,
It was all right though. From what I don't know. You know what? I didn't really get that into it. I was like, I hate Spider-Man's friends. I hate Spider-Man's friends. I hate that fat kid. I hate that Zendaya girl. A bunch of annoying preteens going, let's go on an adventure. Blah, blah, blah. What's that kid? Ned?
mhm.
Ned was cute in like the first movie. At this point, it's like the Ned show. I've got enough Ned in my life.
I also thought the plot was stupid for the new Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, oh, we're trying to get back into college. let's destroy the world in the process. And it's like,
Yeah,
the
the setup.
stakes just exploded from there. I was like, wow, okay.
Well, Joseph W. now says the Batman was bad. It was pointless and it was too long. Stop gagging on the movie because it's called Batman. Stop asking a question critiquing the film. You'll realize it's bad. All right. Well, as the only person who's seen the Batman, I guess me and Joseph are going to have a bit of a conversation. Here's what I will say about the Batman is it is a very good looking movie. Visually, it is very good looking. I would say it is stylistically better than The Dark Knight. It is clear that Matt Reeves is I think his style is much more impressive. Christopher Nolan kind of just beats you over the head. This was definitely a lot more artistic, arty. There's a lot of like very interesting shots, a lot of really interesting angles. The car chases and stuff. A lot of it's like, getting shots of the mirrors or fogged up window. Like, look at that. That shot right there is a good example of Batman is in a completely darkened hallway, and the only light is coming from these dudes with their Uzis lighting up the room. Let me slow it down here.
You know what that reminds me of? The Daredevil first episode on Netflix, where he's doing that fight scene in the hallway.
Yeah, there's definitely some Daredevil looking influences, but that was a very cool looking scene. I'm trying to see if there was anything else that was there was some very good. I was like, wow, this is a good. This guy should be directing something other than Batman, is what I always say. I'm always like, man, I wish these directors could just make whatever they want, but they have to make fucking Batman. Although I think people are going to be mad because Batman's like kind of like a weird mind hunter psychopath. This was probably the weirdest part of the whole movie here. Was Batman takes off his shirt. I don't know why he had to be shirtless for this, and like spray paints a bunch of shit all over the fucking floor.
Because Robert
and
Patterson
puts a bunch
has
of
it in his contract that he has to be shirtless in at least 3 scenes.
This is very much a like Silence of the Lambs, trying to find the killer, whatever the hell. And I'm like, I feel like Batman would organize his information on like a computer. I don't think he would use spray paint to go, this is my design. It's time for me to figure out
this is him 2 years into it, right? So like he's
when he was like a weird emo moody weirdo. Yeah,
so I get like that kind of makes sense that he doesn't have like the technology yet.
Here's a good example of some of the car chase. I thought was because I hate the car chase in The Dark Knight. I find it impossible to follow. It's kind of clear that they had a different plot for the car chase, but then they didn't have enough footage, so they just kind of put it together. Like cars are changing positions on the road at random. Anyway, but this was they have a bunch of shots, a lot of shots. The camera is attached to the wheel of the car, the motorcycle, and it just looks super great.
Yeah, it does look good.
Yeah,
visually, it just looks impressive.
It's awesome to just mount the camera.
And it's nice to not have that same color filter that every superhero movie has. This is all orange and black.
Yeah. And look, it's not relying on this is not shaky cam. It's the camera is steady because it's mounted to the car. So the car stays perfectly in frame. Yeah. The shit behind it might be shaking or whatever, but you're like, oh, I can actually tell what's going on kind of.
Yeah.
Now, do I remember reading correctly that this was all done with practical effects? This whole part right here.
I don't know if it was. I mean, this is him. The car. It looks like it. I hope so because it looks great. This looks like that looks like a practical effect right there on the road.
Mm-hmm.
That does not look like a CGI explosion. Oh yeah, and then look upside down here. There's a lot of this. Now, sometimes does it get a little masturbatory, a little too much of look at how cool Batman is. Yeah, maybe at times. But I was very impressed with how visually stunning this movie looked. Now, and I also do like Robert Pattinson as Batman, but I like pretty boys with eyeliner. That's just me.
I also like how it's dark and gritty without going for the super clowny. What's his face? The guy that directed Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh, Burton?
Yeah, Tim Burton shit. It doesn't go too far into that, but it still has that weird architecture, stylized kind of thing going about it.
It sucks that I can't really get clips yet because I don't know a lot of this stuff. Let's see, official trailer. But you do get the sense that this is like a younger Batman. Yeah, he's got the eye, he's got the emo hair or whatever. He looks like he's, about to go play bass in a MCR cover band. Sure, but I like that look. I mean, call me crazy, and it works for a young Bruce Wayne, a younger Bruce Wayne who's coming to terms with what's going on. He hasn't cut the hair down yet. He's still just a little bitch. And the movie's got a very good. It kind of does something interesting with the whole Batman, because the whole thing about Batman is like, is it dressing up in a suit and like being a weirdo and going like being a weirdo vigilante? Doesn't that just encourage all these other psychopaths to do the exact same thing you're doing? And that's kind of what the movie's about. The Riddler is very much like, hey, that Batman guy's awesome. I'm going to do just what he's doing, which is, kidnap and murder people. And Batman's like, no, I don't do that. He's like, no, we're working. I don't know. Maybe I'm spoiling it. This is some light spoilers, but it's very much Batman coming to terms with what kind of emblem do I want to be for this city? Because if all I am is a dude who goes around is like an asshole, revenge guy. It shouldn't be about revenge. I should be a symbol. I should represent hope. I'm like, that's a good little theme right there.
I don't know about that.
Well, what do you want him to do?
I don't know. Not do any of it.
Just
be a billionaire, motherfucker.
The other problem is whenever
Stop getting involved in like the drug trade and shit.
Yeah, just
I like you driving up the prices for everything that I like.
Stop making drugs more expensive. Leave the drug dealers alone, as we say. What was I gonna say? There are some weird parts though where it's weird when they try to do this really kind of. It's like, oh, it's Batman, but it's realistic. It's like kind of realistic. Like, yeah, but there's still like a giant spotlight with a fucking bat symbol on it. That doesn't make any sense. Like, this is how you contact Batman? Can't you guys get like a private cell phone or something? No, can't you? They don't even explain that. There's no like line of like, here's why we got to still use a bat signal. That made sense in the 40s when you didn't have pagers and shit. So it's like, it is
kind of like fascist that like a government agency like the police station is using terror tactics.
It's super weird.
Stopping crime.
Yeah, it should be on the DL. It should not be like, hey, we're the police. We built a magic spotlight. Also, the only person allowed to use it is Jim Gordon. I don't know why nobody tells him, like, hey, man, like, you can't just do that. He's not like chief of police in this one. He's just like an average cop, it feels like. I mean, he's like a little bit higher up. And they just have this weird, like, understanding.
Going on trips to the Home Depot.
Yeah. What are you doing,
building
Jim?
a big light.
I'm building that light. Working on that light. Yeah, there's like weird shit where the cops give him shit for like, they're like, why do you can't hang out with Batman? He's like a vigilante. You can't have him come into our crime scene and just start poking at shit. And I'm kind of like, hey, I'm kind of on the side of the cops here. Like, Batman shouldn't be in there touching stuff. He's not a cop. That's not his job. Let's see. Professor says the bat signal is explained. It's to warn the criminals that Batman is out and about.
It doesn't make sense that it exists, though. I understand what the purpose of it is.
Yeah,
nobody's disputing the purpose. Yeah, the purpose is to scare bad guys, I guess. But
that's your police department saying we can't scare the criminals by just having, cop cars and sirens. So we're gonna let them think there's a boogeyman out there. That again is not an effective way to. You're basically saying the police are useless, that they have to use. I mean, I know they are, but it's sending a bad message to the.
He wrote it works in universe because the universe is stupid.
The universe is kind of stupid.
Wouldn't it kind of work like? Would it kind of work like a virtue signal? Like everyone has like putting Ukrainian flag colors on their local city monuments. I mean, wouldn't it kind of be like that? But like, hey, we're with Batman. We're supporting Batman. Not that this actually does anything. It just like it looks like they're doing something.
No, because we established that the people in the town don't even really know who Batman is, and they're kind of scared of him. Like at one point, Batman saves an Asian guy from a bunch of people, and I was like, "Oh, is this like a stop Asian hate thing?" But anyway, he stops Asian hate, and then the Asian guy is like, "Please don't hurt me, Mr. Batman." He doesn't call him Batman, but he just like looks at him. He's like terrified. I'm like, "Yeah, the city doesn't even love Batman."
I mean,
they don't really explain how well Batman fits into this universe.
The fact that the premise of Batman on its face is so ridiculous. Like you need to either be overwrought and gritty like this to even make it look right, or completely goofy to make it make any sense. Because it's like, this guy's a billionaire. He takes inspiration from bats to become a crazy vigilante, and then he just stalks the streets at night, like severely injuring low-level criminals for months until he inspires an insane person who's also like a Zodiac killer type. The whole thing it's very difficult to suspend your disbelief after a little while.
It was much easier to suspend my disbelief when Batman was just like a clear fucking cartoon, and Mr. Freeze was Arnold Schwarzenegger just being a goofball.
Yeah.
I get it. It's like a joke.
The suit
now
had
it's like,
nipples.
no, man, it's real life. I'm like, well, if it's real life, then get that fucking light out of there. Because you guys are saying that the light was just to scare criminals. No, like Batman, if you shine the light, he shows up and that's how he meets with Gordon every time. So it's not to scare criminals. It's literally like, yo, can you come meet me at this warehouse? I don't know why nobody else ever goes to that warehouse. You can figure out where the light's coming from. If you wanted to fight Batman or take a picture of Batman, you would know, like, oh, he always goes to that building where they shine that giant spotlight.
And Spider-Man makes more sense because he doesn't ask for it. He gets bit by a spider, wakes up the next day, boom, he's got fucking superpowers. So, and then he's been inspired by like these generations of superheroes that have existed since however long and are publicly known. So he becomes a he becomes a superhero.
Everybody in the comments right now is excusing the spotlight. The spotlight is stupid. I hate to say it. Somebody says Vito doesn't read this chat. Clearly I do. Somebody else says this is everything I hate about comedic movie podcasts. Well, this isn't a podcast. It's just us shooting the shit, man. Guy who hates Batman reviews Batman movie. I don't hate Batman. Look,
I kind of hate Batman. I guess right, look, if I'm making my mind up as we have this conversation.
That's a good point. But here's the thing: I don't hate Batman. It's really hard. The comic book Batman is goofy. He goes to space. He fights aliens. I mean, he fights like crazy people. All right, and then it goes like, no, it's like about terrorists now. And you're like, oh my god, this is like too dark. Like normally Batman fights a guy who's literally made out of clay. Like it's a goof. It's goofy. He fights a lady. She's a plant lady. All right, and then you got this one, and then you go, oh, it's like hyper realistic and whatever. And I'm like, but it just doesn't make that much sense. And maybe it's better to make it a little bit goofy. I don't know. Like you can still suspend your disbelief a little bit, but it didn't strike the right tone. I actually think I think what's his name's Joker struck the right tone because it was kind of like stupid. Like remember the part where Two-Face shows up for the first time and those
Heath Ledger
Nolan ones?
Yeah, and he looks so fucking stupid, and you're like, oh yeah,
it's
a dumb comic book movie. Yeah. First appearance of Two-Face. I want to see it. He turns his face over and he looks like a cartoon skull. He looks like a. You start laughing in the theater. Yeah, you go,
how is he conscious?
Yeah, right.
Conscious.
You go,
I mean,
this is not
dead.
Yeah,
that amount of trauma, there is no way you're in shock or they usually in fact put someone with that kind of burns put under. So like they're out of it. They're not lecturing anyone.
Either that or they put a bunch of bandages on it until it heals. They don't just go, well, now you're going to live the rest of your life with an exposed half of your skull.
Yeah,
what the fuck are you
skin grafts
about?
Exist.
All right, somebody brings up a point that we need to talk about. From Jay Thompson, Vito, you are ignoring the most important part of the Batman lore, and that is counting the amount of black people in the movie. Now, have you all heard about this?
I've heard rumblings.
Okay. And I got in trouble for bringing this up, but I think this is hilarious. There's this guy, Ryan Kennel. He doesn't like me. And I'll be real. I don't like him either. But everybody's been talking about this guy's Batman review. And he's got all his buddies defending him. Let's see. This is the Young Turks.
Wait, is he like there's too many black people in the Batman?
So we're gonna get right into it. I tell you what. Now let's see. Is
what
this the actual?
What a bizarre thing to think. It's
hold on. No. He's gonna tell you there's context to why there's too many black people. We need to listen to the context
All right.
of why there's too many black people in the Batman. And trust me, people are furious that I made another video talking about this with a guy, and like people are like, how could you take him out of context? I'm like, well, he said there's too many black people in Batman. And they're like, yeah, but the context, I'm like, even with the context, it's a really stupid fucking thing to say. All right, let's see if this has the clip.
Zoe Kravitz's cow.
Oh, hold on.
Very slow.
I don't know. I overall my interacts with Ryan or seeing, he seems like a nice enough guy. I know
it's fine if you're friends with Ryan.
No,
look,
I'm just saying. I think what happens is those content mills sometimes people get led to saying things they probably shouldn't, or they're
but all
so
he has to
desperate
do
to get content out. They're like,
yeah.
what can I say?
Get out
What
in
can
front
I
of
say?
it, Pete.
He should. Let's
Start
just see what he has to
defending your
say.
friend
You know what,
now.
Pete? If he's
before
totally
this
reasonable,
video of him saying,
I don't know
really
Ryan
crazy
personally. If that's what
have
you're
you heard
saying.
this?
I'm just
Have
saying.
you heard the
I'm
quote
kidding.
though? But have you heard the quote? Let's hear the quote. Maybe he's perfectly reasonable.
Zoe Kravitz's Catwoman.
Can you guys
I
hear
didn't
him?
know
It's like
how I-
really low.
I can hear him.
Can you hear him? Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like the audio is low. Maybe my audio is just low. I'm gonna turn up my audio so I can hear him better. All right. Here we go. This is now they called him a racist YouTuber. Again, we are not calling him racist. I mean, I'm willing to give him the olive
I
branch.
might be.
Well,
I wanna
let's
hear what
find
he's
let's
saying.
find out.
Zoe Kravitz's Catwoman. I didn't know how I'd think about her. I really didn't. I'm not a huge. I don't like race swapping at all for any reason whatsoever. It's kind of inexcusable. Jeffrey Wright didn't blow me away. I think it was fine as Commissioner Gordon. I again don't race swap characters.
The new Batman movie.
No, those aren't it. That's not the quote. I wish I could just get. I don't know why I'm getting it from the Young Turks. These guys suck. But here we go.
There were only a couple good people in this movie.
The white ones.
You had Bruce Wayne, Batman, and you had Alfred. Those are the only two good white people. The rest of the three other major players that I would consider like overall like moral good people were, you had Jim Gordon, who's black in this. You had Catwoman, who's not white in this. And then you had the mayor, who's a black woman. Again, very much on the nose for current day Hollywood. Did not like that. Took a little bit off the score for me, to be honest.
So let me break that down real quick. All right.
I'm having a hard time following that.
Right. It's kind of a crazy thing to say that no smart person would ever have come out of their mouth. But let's break it down. His argument is that of the good people in the movie, he means morally good, like fighting for the side of justice.
Yeah.
The characters you're supposed to like. Too many of them are black or people of color.
And none of them are the bad guys.
He's saying, I wish more of them were white, or that, there's bad guys. The bad guys, there's a lot of white bad guys. There should be more black bad guys.
It kind of does fit in the grand scheme of, crime being done. It is fewer,
Well, the argument he's trying to make is that this movie has racial politics because it's trying to show you white people who are bad, because he fights a lot of white mobsters and whatever else. Like the Penguin is in this movie. The Riddler's a white guy, right?
Right. The mob that is traditionally filled with tons of ethnic people from all different cultures.
Sure. Yeah. But let's be clear. Who is the star of The Batman? I'll give you a hint. His name's Batman. What color is Batman? I know he wears all black, but you might be surprised to learn there is a white man under that costume. This is a movie that is specifically about how white guys are the heroes. What are we talking about? He's saying it's racial. He's saying the movie's a little bit woke. It's a little bit of those social justice politics because there's not enough good white guys. And there should have been more black bad guys. Now, I went and watched the movie after I saw this, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to count. I'm going to see if he's right. And if somebody brings up, at the beginning of the movie, there's like a gang of guys who kind of look like Joker type guys. They all have like face paint. And I'm pretty sure that was meant to be a Hispanic gang. At least one of them was either Hispanic or black. There was also, he's talking about good white people. There's not enough good white people. You have Batman, you have Alfred. Then there's also the mayor dies and he has a kid who's left behind. And, Bruce identifies with him. And I'm like, oh, look, he's saving the little white boy. Like, so what are you trying to say that, like, the movie's saying white people are the bad guys? Oh, and you know who the other bad guy is? Somebody else brings up is, he's saying this is, it's coming down on, white people. You don't have ethnicity. In John Turturro, the king of the Jews.
Whoa, hold on. Before you get yourself in trouble. Didn't
Jews are white, but or whatever.
Yeah.
I get that.
I mean,
are they
all of
though? Are they white?
But it's still ethnic representation on the villainous side to have a Jewish villain.
Don't
right?
Whoopi Goldberg yourself.
I'm saying.
I'm just saying.
If you're looking for diversity in your villains, it doesn't count if you get like a famous.
I don't
Jewish
know.
actor.
I don't know. I'm
Okay.
blurry on the rules. If I'm being completely honest.
So let's back this up. So his original point that was about
is
Zoe Kravitz, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's
That
white.
was the whole point. It was like, hey,
Yeah,
Zoe Kravitz is
Isn't
race
she-
swapped Catwoman. I don't think I've heard anyone like really complain about
Welcome
that.
back to our.
Isn't the Catwoman like at least sometimes
Oh,
like throughout
that's
time
the-
has been like
that's the
sometimes black?
stupidest thing. Let's take a look. He goes, oh, what do you call it? I can't believe. I hate when they race swap characters. It's inexcusable. How dare they race swap Catwoman, who has always been white since the dawn of time. Throughout all of time, she has been. This would have been way better if the clip had played it. Oh, look at that! There's that white Catwoman that we're all used to from all the way back in the 70s, or actually the 60s. We've had black Catwoman. This idea
Hasn't she mostly been black? Like,
She's
isn't she
always
in the
looked
comic
very-
books? Like,
and she's kind of
ambiguous.
ethnically ambiguous.
Yeah.
But she was definitely in the TV show.
and Halle Berry was Catwoman. She's a black woman.
I gotta say, anytime I see the old Batgirl, I get a boner. Look at, oh my god, that is a costume, all right. You don't get that anymore. So look, I got in a lot of trouble for daring to say that Ryan Kindle said a very stupid thing about Batman. Because here's the argument I'm gonna make. Is that this is not how you write a story. You don't sit down and go, I need an equal number of good black guys and bad black guys. Like, that is specifically what this crowd is against, right? Don't they hate that if you sat down, you're like, oh, well, I have a bad black guy in the movie, so I have to have a good black guy to balance it out. It's like, no, just write the story, right?
Well, no, they just want everybody in the movie to be white or animated.
I mean, it really comes down to, I think these guys go and watch these movies. Anytime a character has changed race, they're like, oh, I don't like that. And then it seems like, God, why does this guy never look like he has teeth? Am I crazy?
Yeah.
Every time I look at this guy, I see a baby whose teeth haven't come in yet. I don't know what that is. Does he just have like huge? Look, where are your teeth, motherfucker? He looks like a Muppet. He has no eyebrows and no teeth. This is the weirdest. And I'm a weird looking guy, but Jesus Christ, Ryan. Anyway.
Is it
I'm sorry I'm getting in trouble, Pete. Pete likes Ryan, and that's fine.
I try
He's
not
in
to
love
get in
with
trouble
Ryan.
anyone.
He wants
I
to
just-
marry him.
Yeah.
I just try to stay out of these
These
the
slap
spats
fights.
generally, and I just try to. And honestly,
Ryan and
I mean, honestly, you
sitting
can.
in a
People
tree.
can end up saying
Yeah.
doing some really stupid stuff when you're like, I have to get content out now. I have to get content out. I have to
And
do it
I
right
agree
now.
with
They
that
don't really think it
wholeheartedly.
through.
Yes.
But I don't think it's that he's not thinking it through. I think it's that the audience, like I see it a lot online, the audience that watches these kinds of fucking guys who immediately leave the theater and then film their YouTube video in the car before they go home. They like to hear this like woke Hollywood narrative.
That is absolutely true.
So like you just put it in everything, otherwise the video is not going to get a ton of views. So if you title your video too many not
good
enough
black
white people
Yeah,
in,
not enough good white people.
yeah, not enough white heroes.
This is very much the brand, and that ultimately is what bothers me, is that when I review a movie, the last thing on my mind. Now, I think famously, I talked about, I think Last Jedi had kind of a little bit of a feminist moral in it. And I talked about that because I do genuinely believe that's in there. But for the most part, you know, in some movies, yeah, they'll bring a character in and maybe they'll like say some social justice-y sounding stuff. And I'm like, okay, it kind of feels like the writers' politics are seeping into this. But like when I see a black Catwoman, no part of me goes, there has to be an agenda here.
And the other thing is like I kind of understood their point with the Lord of the Rings thing because like the way that they started promoting that was like the poster was just like black elf hands or black dwarf hands.
Well, no. They released like 20 posters though.
See, I didn't know that because I only saw everybody freaking out about the black dwarf.
That's the other thing that I don't. That's the other thing I don't like about these guys is that they kind of mislead you and they go, see, they brought out the first and right away they're trying to get to us by this is the poster they chose. And you're like, well, what about all the other fucking posters? Yeah, there's always like this kind of sneaky like,
it's always a lie.
There weren't any good white people in the Batman movie, except for Batman, Alfred, this kid. And like he's like complaining that the mayor was a good person and she's black. The mayor has like 2 lines in the movie. She's not even a character. Like she's literally just there to be like, I'm the mayor and I'm getting shot at. Batman, save me.
Nothing about the way that like this movie has been presented or advertised has made me think about race at all.
Yeah. There's been some things about Zoe Kravitz, but in the entertainment media, but none of it I think's landed. People aren't talking about. Like there have been attempts. I've read like articles that try to make hits like that, but I haven't seen like on Twitter people actually going out there and making this point.
Yeah,
I mean, I think this is one of the times where these guys are so used to calling things a woke social justice, whatever the thing, that he was so used to doing it that he kind of had to manufacture it for this movie, and it ended up getting him in a bunch of trouble, and everyone was making fun of him. Yeah, here, fragile dude, upset at black characters in the Batman. And again, I'm not going to call him racist. I just think these guys, I don't know what it is. It's just this weird...
pandering. He's pandering to his audience.
But I think he does genuinely believe it. I think he genuinely came out of the movie and he thought like,
I think,
oh man, why were there so many black guys in it? Like, it's got to be a message. And I want to tell him like, hey man, I think you can just have black characters and like, again, a black mayor. Do you know how many towns in America have black mayors right now? New York just elected a black mayor. Yeah, Lori Lightfoot. We love her.
She's amazing.
Her crazy eyes. Lowell Z says, in defense of Ryan, why does everything have to be diverse? Well, I mean, if you're gonna make a movie about a crime town, like even more clearly, Gotham is supposed to be Chicago. I think even like some of the architecture in it is clearly Chicago. You want to make a movie about Chicago, but the mayor's not black and like there's no black cops? Like, what do you want? If anything, it's way more realistic to have Gordon be a black cop or whatever else.
And also to continue on with that comment, the black actors are overrepresented. I actually statistically, I think they're represented almost exactly the way that they should be.
Well, they're
which
what,
is like 10 to 15%.
10 to 15%. But well, you don't understand. This movie had both the mayor and the cop was black. That's 2 black characters. Probably would have been better if it was just one. I mean, we're literally getting down to the point. Are you guys, Geeks and Gamers and Ryan Kindle, are you guys going to start going to the movies? I want you guys, after every movie, you need to give me the report, and I want to know exactly how many characters are good, how many were bad, and which color skin they had, and then I can determine whether or not the movie had woke identity politics in it, because that's the only way to figure it out.
Clearly.
I can see people how they can fall, because people like monocausal explanations. They want the one explanation for why things they are, but just wokeness, I totally do think is a thing that the people make casting choices, or they do certain things for productions that they want to add an ideology or a political edge to it. That totally exists, but it isn't the explanation for everything. It's not the one and only explanation. You have to look at the production, you have to look at the people involved, what they've said, a lot of what the PR is.
Yeah.
In that case, I don't think he's correct, because as far as I've followed for the film, I don't admit to being a hardcore follower of this production. That doesn't seem to be the focus at all. And it could be that, you know, the writers may not have made the casting, maybe some casting directing, maybe, you know, some person was recasted. You just don't know. So these things are more complex than I think GG
I
and some
just
others
think
like
you
this
should
shit
come out of
say
the
it is.
movie. Yeah, you should come out of the movie and you should go, tell me about the plot. Tell me about the characters. Tell me about the action. Don't tell me how many characters were black, how many were white, what their moral alignment was. That's not a way to judge a movie. This is insanity.
It's a fantastic bit, though.
Yeah,
it's
it is a good bit.
Funny.
Trust me. I've been talking to a buddy.
Channel...
Yeah, I don't want to spoil it. We might be revisiting that bit. We might be using the Kendall scale and examining some classic movies to see, are there too many good black people in this movie? Well, let's find out. We went and we watched Roots, and the weird thing about Roots is that there's so many black guys, and most of them are good, and most of the white guys are bad. So it really felt like that movie. There should have been more good white, and some of the slaves should have been bad. Some of the slaves in Roots should have been bad guys, you know? That would have been better. Here's a guy, I've never seen this. This is actually from 2 years ago. But just to give you an idea of how toxic some of the discourse is. Have you ever seen this guy, No BS? He's kind of the worst.
I have.
Yeah, he's the worst man on earth. I believe this man, I'll say this, I believe this man is genuinely racist. So I want to hear what his take was 2 years ago on Zoe Saldana getting picked to play Catwoman. I want to hear it.
In fact, Spider-Man's rather funny and sarcastic in his character portrayals. In addition, the real thing worth pointing out here is another reason why Batman's suit and look is so dark and scary looking in the first place. And it's not because he's Zoe involves a sort of race bending of the famous Catwoman character. Here's an article from one angry gamer talking about how the Batman is race swapping the character Catwoman by casting Zoe Kravitz. And I have to say, this is a little upsetting, but on its own, it's not especially pissing me off either. Not to mention, this has happened before in the original Batman TV series where...
Oh, well, then even he has a fucking realistic... when No BS is getting it right and you got it wrong?
But still talking about this is so fucking dumb.
It is dumb. I mean,
but who cares who's in the fucking movie? Is it a good movie or not? I want to know.
No, we need to know if Catwoman's black, and then we can judge it based on that. And if there's a black
tell me,
Catwoman,
was the movie worth me spending $30 at the fucking movie theater and then another $20 on popcorn and fucking a gallon of soda?
No.
You have to count. You have to count
their skin color like a fucking slave auction. All right.
Talk about how the movie's 176 minutes fucking long. How's anybody supposed to sit through that for one setting? That's miserable.
Well, I don't know what to tell you.
They don't even pay you for to sit through these fucking movies anymore.
Oh, we got a Ben Shapiro review of the Batman.
Yeah, he doesn't like it because Ben Shapiro's a little gremlin who doesn't like anything good or pure in this world. Yo, I don't know. What else can we say about Batman? Have we said it all?
I thought you guys, when you said you were going to cover the Batman, I thought we were going to cover the all-important controversy with the Batman, which is the spat between co-stars Robert Pattinson and Zoe Kravitz. When Robert Pattinson wanted to talk about Final Fantasy VII and his love for Aerith versus Tifa.
Is this a joke or is this a real thing?
This is not a joke.
Happened?
And Zoe Kravitz, he had said that it was like, that there are these two choices and he really loves FF7. And then she came back. She's singing this interview. She has no idea about FF7. She says, well, the whole dichotomy, that love triangles, quote, the problem with the world, unquote.
Oh my God, we're going to have to watch this clip now. All right, here we go. Robert Pattinson talking about Final Fantasy VII, but she's not in. Oh, she is in this clip. Okay, let's hear it. Pattinson's trying to get cast as Cloud. I know what's happening. Pattinson, you're transparent, but let's listen.
No, it's not working.
It's...
Oh, wait. You guys can't hear it because it's in a different window. God damn it. Deet. I hate that. All right, now you'll be able to actually hear it and not just me.
Some love for Paris. And Tifa.
And Tifa, of course.
Yeah, everybody wants that vote.
Yeah. But
it's the two sides. It's the two options of girls. You can have this.
You don't know Final Fantasy? No.
It's the best. It's a love triangle where Aerith or Aerith, depending on what version of the game you have, it's sometimes mistranslated. Like she's like the really kind girl who has superpowers, like to like heal everyone and like make the world a better place.
Poor women. We have to heal everyone.
And then Tifa's like this like sexy little thing. He's like a thief and stuff to wear the short skirt. And you're like, I can't decide. And then Eris,
this is crazy.
And Eris right at her peak gets killed. This is how every guy just like figures out what love is. And then that's the ideal woman, and it never gets any.
Either the one that's going to heal everything and the one in the short skirt. These are the options. Oh my God. This is the problem with the world.
Just shut up.
I'm going to kill her. I'm going to kill her. Zoe. I'm going to murder you.
Oh, man.
My foes.
I can't tell if she's being serious.
I think she has never heard of this. I think she's trying to make she's trying to go along with a bit. Let's be clear. She's never seen it. She doesn't know what she's talking about. Because if she did, she would know that the correct choice is Tifa. Obviously.
Oh, that's fighting words right there.
Are you really an Erisman?
I am.
I don't really
like. Oh, come on. Tifa will like rim your ass. Eris is too no, maybe Eris would. I don't know. I'm saying Tifa's down and dirty. She's from the slums, man. She's been actually she might have slept with a bunch of guys already. I guess Eris is like the pure innocent thing. I
feel like Final Fantasy is too close to anime, which causes pedophilia. So
yeah,
that's
true. I mean, aren't they supposed to be? How old is? No, I think they're
9 years old combined.
They're not 9 years old. Shut up! Stop ruining.
You're talking
Final
about
Fantasy.
them eating your ass.
No. I think Eris would be so polite that she would eat ass.
Yes, please. Thank you.
She'd feel. No, she's pretty headstrong. Eris. I think she would turn it down.
Okay, maybe this is a bit of a sidebar, but I've never played any of the Final Fantasy games.
Oh,
and it's never made sense to me. Is this is it an anthology series? Because I was looking at the box art, like the first one's like this medieval fantasy thing, and then like Final Fantasy 15 or whatever, it's like a boy band standing in front of a muscle car.
Yeah, Bob, you're I don't know how you haven't figured this out in all your time on this earth, but no, every Final Fantasy 7 or every Final Fantasy game is set in its own universe.
Okay.
Except for ones that are like weirdly sequels. But like 7 and 8 are not in the same universe.
Okay.
I'm trying to think the first one where the universe is where it's like that's why we end up with games called Final Fantasy 13-2. Which is like nothing should be named that. Welcome to Final Fantasy 13-2. And you're like, well, why is it not Final? No, it's not 14. It's 13-2.
I thought that was just like a Square Enix thing where it's like Kingdom Hearts 3 is actually Kingdom Hearts 9.5 or whatever.
No. Kingdom Hearts 3 is Kingdom Hearts 9.5 Final Mix. If you want Kingdom Hearts 4, Kingdom Hearts DDD Dream Drop Distance.
360. What was it? 368 over 5 days or something.
Oh yeah, that is literally the name of one of the Kingdom Hearts games. Hold on, I'm gonna get
there's
Kingdom Hearts series. Let's get the name of all the games because I think that Kingdom Hearts is like a joke. I think the guy who made it only made it because he hates people and wants to confuse them. All right, hold on. We have Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, Kingdom Hearts 2. All right. I'm like, all right, that's pretty good. Then we have RE, the Chain of Memories, which is Chain of Memories again. RE Coded, 358 2 days. Birth by Sleep. Okay, well, no, wait. So they had Coded and then they made Recoded. So that's the other problem is that like half of these came out as like cell phone games in Japan, and then later they made them into real games. We have Triple D, Kingdom Hearts 3D, the Dream Drop Distance. That's the 3Ds, of course. The 1.5 remix, the 2.5 remix. X, I don't even know what the fuck X is. Unchained Union. Then, all right, this is bullshit. 1.5 remix, I get. I'm like, okay, so you took Kingdom Hearts 1 and then you changed it around. Now you're calling it Kingdom Hearts 1.5. Fine. Same with 2.5. Then you have 2.8. What the fuck is that? What the fuck? Kingdom Hearts 2.8 prologue? Are you kidding me? And then finally, Kingdom Hearts. All right, here, what kind of timeline is this? 2002 Kingdom Hearts, 2005 Kingdom Hearts 2. So when should Kingdom Hearts 3 come out, right? When should that happen?
2008.
2019. 2019.
Yeah.
Why make 3 when we can make 80 million games that aren't 3? And then now I don't think 4 is it's not coming out in our lifetime. Dark Road, Melody of Memory.
Did you play it? Did you play any of these?
I played the first 2 Kingdom Hearts back on the PS2, and
did you play 3 at all? Because
you know what?
did.
I tried to play 3. Is it good?
No, it's fucking unbearable. I didn't make it through the whole thing. It's unbearable to play. It's basically a movie. You take 2 steps. It's a cutscene that lasts for 20 minutes, and then that cutscene ends, and you're like, all right, time to start hacking and slashing. And you take 2 more steps, and there's another 20-minute cutscene. I'm like, I have half an hour to play video games today, and I've watched a movie.
And the cutscenes don't even make any sense. What's I remember
it's a lot of like, and
well,
like
there's too many fucking characters. You play the first game as this guy Sora, and then the next game they're like, Sora's dead. You're Roxas now, and you're like,
and then Sora's just been an egg.
Yeah, and then you gotta save Sora from an egg. And it turns out you're Sora's dream, and I'm like, can you just? Isn't this about Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck? What the fuck is this shit?
Really, the only reason to play those games is because like when you get into like the individual worlds, they do feel like games of Disney movies. If you liked Disney movies, I played them with I played the first 2 with my younger sister, and I played the 3rd one with my 2 kids. Yeah. And you know, like it's fun to go through the game and play the storylines of Disney movies that like you never thought were going to be video games. Like the Toy Story world is kind of cool. The Tron world is actually fun.
Well, that's what I loved is like whenever they were like bring it out, and you're like, oh my god, what is going on? Because they ended up going to 3D Tron. Like they started putting. You probably never played the one on 3DS. You know they go to the other Tron world with the
no.
And then what's his name? What's that guy? He's there.
Xenophobe or whatever.
Tron.
No, fuck. What's this
Jeff
actor?
Bridges.
Yeah, Jeff Bridges is in fucking Kingdom Hearts. Look at him talking about portals and shit, and talking to Mickey Mouse. None of it makes any fucking sense.
I feel like the contrarian today because I think I've played every single one of those games, save the mobile ones, which only came out in Japan.
You've played all the Kingdom Hearts games?
All of them, except the mobile ones only. Because
what did you honestly think of them? Because I played them, and like everything else aside from the isolated Disney stories is just like slop. It doesn't make any sense. It's meandering and it goes nowhere, and it sucks.
It's kind of like a soap opera. I think part of the appeal is that you kind of keep up with it, and it kind of makes sense. I think a lot of people are Kingdom Hearts fans. They get really into it. So then when you have the next game and it has the next convoluted plot point, they can keep up with it. I think that's largely the appeal there. It's kind of similar to like a deep dive in anime, I think.
I've tried to.
I think that when it originally came out, it was a totally mainstream property. And then I think over time, it just became its own thing.
Ignore Huckleberry Finn.
No. Just ignore what I'm doing right now and keep talking because I have to find.
I'm worried though.
Yeah,
I agree. 3 was pretty weak though, but I think that shows that thing they just got way too long to get on top of that project. Nomura got so busy working on all those different things he wanted to do, all the different versions of Final Fantasy 15. If you remember, there was like 3 different versions of the game when they initially announced it. I think they just got too busy and just, sometimes this happens when you let a project cook too long.
I have a cut world from Kingdom Hearts. This was a Song of the South.
This is one that I don't know
why I don't know why they cut this one out of the game. Do you know Song of the South, Pete?
I am aware it is the Forbidden Disney film.
The Forbidden Disney film, which Sora will never visit for some strange reason.
I think I have a couple.
He's never going to get to hear Uncle Remus sing Zippity Zoodah.
I had this on VHS
no, you
when
didn't.
I was a kid.
No, you did not. There's no way.
I think
you might have had a bootleg.
Yeah, it might have been a bootleg, but I remember this scene.
It's actual.
Okay, so there was actually this weird sing-along VHS that Disney put out. And it came in like a collection of sing-along VHS, and it had this on it.
Maybe that's it. Yeah.
Hold on. I want to see if Song of the South ever came out on VHS. Oh, man. That would be... Did it? Maybe... No, wait. Rare Walt Disney Classic Song of the South. Oh, man. Maybe it did come out on VHS. There was definitely the sing-along songs. Okay, now, for those of you who don't know, Song of the South, of course, is... Oh, how come I got to find the synopsis from Wikipedia real quick. I'm going to play the zippity doo
Wonderful day.
There's a bluebird on
Somebody
my
wrote, "How dare you have black
shoulder."
people in a movie?"
Yeah, this movie's. I don't know about well, there's a good black guy. I hope there's some bad black guys to offset him. You know. Yeah. Well, basically, Uncle Remus. It's not. I don't think the plot is actually that bad. It's just the idea that this was. It's set in the aftermath of the plant. Oh wait, here we go. 70-year-old Johnny is excited about a vacation at his grandmother's Georgia plantation. Oh no. Oh no. As Johnny sneaks away from the plantation, he's attracted by the voice of Uncle Remus. Yeah, so I think the inference was Uncle Remus was a former slave, maybe, or it's not.
Which
good.
happened though? Why couldn't that? Why can't that be a movie? I don't understand. Like,
let's just say it. They don't handle it with the great. I think Uncle Remus lives in the woods, and he's like a. It's because it's
that makes sense though.
It
Like,
was. I think
recently
when I remember
freed
what they said
slave.
was the problem was that the relationship where Remus is giving up and doing all these nice things for the kid, but Remus, he's not there voluntarily. And so everything that's happening, everything that Remus is doing isn't of his free will. And it kind of gives what do they say? The happy slave narrative.
Yeah.
And that's just
okay.
like that
this
flied in 1950 or whenever the movie came out, but that didn't fly.
So
Let's
this is
see.
not available on Disney Plus, right?
No.
No, they.
I'm not sure it's even still exists in the vault.
Well,
they might have like burned every copy.
Uncle Remus is not a slave. Let's be clear. He is free to leave the plantation at will. It's the Reconstruction era. But he is a sharecropper, which was almost the same thing as slavery. That was when we told black people, like, you're your own farmer. You just have to rent the plow from me for a low price of $600 a year. And then we just basically charged them so much money to keep working on the same plantations, and they never made a dime. So look, it's not. Why is his eyes crazy? He's got crazy eyes. This
Wonderful
man.
feeling this way.
He's got a beautiful voice though. Anyway, you will not see this in a Kingdom Hearts game anytime soon. Sadly. Sadly.
This
is also the reason
you won't even see it at Disneyland now because they are.
Well, yeah, they're getting rid of it, right?
Yeah, they're retheming all the Splash Mountain to Princess and the Frog.
Splash Mountain famously is I don't know how it is still Song of the South themed. I would have thought that, it's kind of always the joke whenever you go on Splash Mountain, you're like, oh, the magical ride through racism. I'm excited. It represents the black people's constant effort to ride their way up to the top of the log ride, and yet always ends when the white man forces them back down the slide to failure.
To get splashed a bit.
Yeah, to get splashed a bit and try again. Get back in line, as we say. I got to go to Disney. A guy offered to take me to Disneyland.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it wasn't even a gay thing. I'm excited. He's like, do you want to go to Disneyland with me? And I'm like, I don't know about that. He's like, me and my wife. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, sure, let's do it.
It's better than last time.
That's so funny, you being like brought as like a child on somebody's couple vacation.
Well, it's this thing.
We're gonna bring my favorite YouTuber Vito on our romantic Disney getaway.
He gets, what do you call it? He gets free. He works for Disney apparently, so he's able to go for free. And somebody else was trying to. No, Riley's insane. Riley is trying to get me a free ticket to the Star Cruiser, and I'm telling him, like, it's not going to happen. He seems to think he can somehow finagle me onto this stupid Star Wars cruise ship. I don't know how it's going to happen. People keep all right, here's the thing. Everyone keeps asking me. They keep saying, Vito, you need to do a crowdfunding campaign to go on the Star Cruiser. And here's why I'm not going to do it is because then when I do a crowdfunding campaign for something I actually want, you're all going to say, well, we already gave you money to do that thing you hated.
No. See, that's not how it works, though. You're thinking about it in completely the wrong way. If you do this one and you make a good video,
I attract new fans?
Not only that, if you just wait a little while to do the For You project, which is going to suck and nobody's going to like,
right?
By the way,
right.
To crowdfund that, if you build good faith by putting out a good product after you've crowdfunded the first one, people will be more likely to double dip and crowdfund the second one with you.
All right, maybe I should put up the.
I think you should. I think it's the good move to do and really take advantage of it.
I really don't know how to explain to people that.
I know you don't want to do it, but it's your job. It's your fucking job.
It is my job. I actually have to make a video because remember how I complained that it's $6,000?
Mm-hmm.
That's the fucking base price. It's people are because right now people are trying to get on the Star Cruiser and it's like quoting them prices of like $7,000, $8,000. I'm like, I thought that was like the maximum.
Gas prices are crazy, right?
Gas prices. How much is gas for you guys are right now?
I can only imagine $4.25.
I can only imagine how much gas it takes to get the Star Cruiser into space. You're right.
It's a high $3 here. I mean, literally just over 2 days, the gas went up 30 cents.
Yep.
I wonder if I can how do I book a cruise? Where do I go? Start planning? I want to see because reservations are open, my friends. Which I don't know if that's good or bad for voyage departure dates. Most weeknights, 6,000. You want to do this on the weekend? No, sir. $7,000. Now we already have bookings. Let's see, May, June, July's wide open.
August is completely free.
Shouldn't this be sold out? Like
you think?
I mean, they literally just put out like hundreds of influencers put out videos talking about this thing. Doesn't that mean like people should be signing up for it?
This is a really bad time to come out with a super expensive Disney hotel.
This is a terrible time for a super. Oh my God.
That's what they'll blame it on too. It's bad timing, not bad product. It's
Putin's fault.
Yeah.
He wanted the Star Wars hotel to fail.
Well, and everybody that's booking now is figuring, hey, I got to spend the money now because nuclear holocaust's coming.
Yeah.
So we got to just go ahead and get rid of it all now.
I don't know what's going on.
I feel like there's a really good setup for a Walking Dead story stuck in the Star Wars hotel.
Well, they do these. There was another one I wanted to do. What was it? You remember when that Army of the Dead thing came out? They had an Army of the Dead VR. I should have went. This was probably cool. I want to see if it was actually cool. These pop-up experiences are like a neat idea, but it should be like, again, a pop-up experience. So they had this Army of the Dead pop-up VR game. I want to see if this is cool because I almost went to this and then I didn't. I'm kind of regretting it. So when you show up, I guess, Zack Snyder's going to tell us all about it.
If you're watching this, then you know I found the right crew.
Hey everyone, Zack Snyder here. I'm so excited to finally announce that this summer we're taking Army of the Dead on the road. Behind me.
Oh, wait, do they not? What? No, show the thing. He like cut away? Is this the trailer?
It looks like it.
I thought did they not let you shoot inside the thing? I wanted to see what it actually looked like. Oh, you dumb idiot. What, was it like a spoiler? Like I can't see it? I want to know what they did. You're supposed to, oh my God, this guy totally just cucked me. Come on. Do they not let you film it or something?
No, probably not.
That's the whole point of these stupid pop-up things is to post it to your Instagram or whatever the fuck.
You think
the outside.
Be good?
They give you a special area where you can take
well,
pictures.
now I'm not even sad that I didn't get to go and shoot virtual zombies.
They had something similar.
I wanted.
They had something similar to this. It wasn't Walking Dead branded or anything like that, but it was like a laser tag thing that you went into, and they had actors playing zombies, and I had a friend who actually like worked as a zombie at that thing.
Yeah,
and apparently it's a little lame. It's
all
cool
this,
for kids, but
all this stuff is.
Yeah,
I mean it's whatever. It's something to do. I'm thinking of. Did you ever see when Rick and Morty took over Wendy's?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, all right.
Like
that's kind of cute, I guess.
But
Like,
imagine sitting online for like people were sitting online for like 8 hours to go through that thing, and it was just like
You're
you
a
drive
moron.
through it.
Let me see. I guess this is him in line.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, you get to sit in line to wait for a Rick and Morty cheeseburger. You know what it comes down to? There is no reason to live anymore, my friends. There's nothing left to do. The only thing left to do is play Elden Ring. You know what? I want to talk about the Elden Ring UX. Have you seen this discussion of game designers are mad at Elden Ring because everybody likes it and they made a game that is way shittier?
Oh wait, the Horizon thing?
I want to like Horizon. Have you seen Horizon Forbidden West?
It looks
it's
good,
all
but
right.
they keep doing this where they release it the same day as like another game that is way better. Like the Zelda game looked awesome, and Horizon looked like a kind of a boring open world fucking shit game, like every other game that's come out the last 10 years.
It's like their target demographic is the grandmas that are gonna get the wrong game on accident.
Yeah.
Like everybody, all the kids ask for Breath of the Wild, and they're like, "Well, looks wild, so I'm just gonna get this one."
The problem with these games is these guys spend way too much money, or way too much time putting in shit that I don't care about, like cutscenes. Get rid of these. Get rid of every cutscene. I honestly, I think I'm sick of. I don't know, man. That's the cool thing about Elden Ring is the story is just like
it's
very
not spoon fed to you, right? It's
no, you don't
you
just
kind
sit
of
there.
play the story.
Yeah, you don't sit there and you feel more like you're the character. In Elden Ring, I am the character. In this game, I'm pretending to be somebody else's character in their movie, and then I watch their movie, and then occasionally they let me control her for like 2 seconds, and I pick up triangles that are all over this is a good example. Don't put fucking triangles all over the map.
Yeah.
All these every video game, that's modern game design is could we put a fucking triangle here?
It's Ubisoft's fault.
How many triangles can we fit on this map?
Or look at there, or either a triangle or a diamond. Look, see at the top of her screen, there's you got to go to the diamond. There's another fucking diamond. And then over here on top of that guy, there's a diamond. There's a triangle and an arrow. And I'm just like, maybe there could be less fucking triangles everywhere.
It's just like the E3 announcements from now on are like, this year we have almost 2/3 as many triangles as we had
Look at
last
how
year.
many. Look at all these fucking triangles. This whole game is just triangles. And it's literally, you're just playing a game where it's
Holy shit, there's millions of triangles.
There's
in this
so
game.
many triangles. The whole game is just running around the map from one triangle. She just picked up 14 triangles. Look, did you see that? Hold on.
Everybody complaining about accessibility in Elden Ring, just go play Horizon.
I'm gonna make a video specifically complaining that video games have too many triangles because this is becoming ridiculous. At some point, I did play Horizon Zero Dawn and I kind of like it. Yeah, look, see, she picked up 14 triangles right there, 14 of them. But the problem is okay, that's a perfect example. What the fuck is that shit on my screen? When I kill a guy, do you really need to tell me how many points I got for killing him? All right. Okay. 14 steps to my right. There's a thing. Here's some fucking UI. And then over here is a triangle. There's just too much shit on the street. Your current quest is this quest. You got to search for this thing. There's just so much shit on the screen.
Yeah, I do hate these kinds of games.
You don't feel immersed. You feel like you're in a cog in a machine fulfilling a predetermined destiny.
And just being able to see through the world to see the holographic triangles in front of the holographic triangles and then the more triangles. You're right. I've never thought about it before. There's always some sort of blip blop thing that you got to go collect. And it's really, and then
look at this. I scanned a guy and now I know what he's weak to and I can look up his details in my notes. Get rid of all of this. Just be
go fight him.
Yeah, just be
and then
you're
figure
in a
out
world,
what his weaknesses are through fighting him.
There's a bunch of fucking monsters. Shoot him in the head. I don't want to scan them. I don't want to talk to them. I don't want to learn their etymology. I just want to shoot. Then there's glowing parts of them that it tells you which part you can shoot because you scanned it now, so you know what its weak point is.
It's on his ass.
I don't know. Look, it would be
That
okay.
is everyone's weak point.
And then right here, you kill it, and it's got to tell you, look, you killed it. Also, it was a stealth kill and a machine kill. Look at all these fucking pop-ups and shit. Just let me kill stuff. I almost forgive this game for it, because this game is clearly about technology. It's like a main part of it. But like all that Assassin's Creed shit, it's the same thing, man.
Yeah. The last one that I'm still like in the process of playing it every once in a while I get a chance to, the one that's set in Greece.
Yeah.
And it's like 8,000 hours long. Yeah. I'm not good at video games. So having to sit through 8,000 hours of like traveling across literally like countries, it's just put me on a path, point me in one direction, let me fight shit, and then like give me prizes every once in a while.
Well,
I'm going back. I'm gonna start playing Raid.
Yeah, that'll. Well, I mean, if you want champions, Raid has more champions than any other game. Everyone keeps coming to me. I just have my stock line. They go, "How can you possibly do a Raid plug?" And I go, "Well, no game has more champions than Raid."
It's a good line.
And they go, "Well, I can't deny it.
How many
I can't deny
champions
that."
I remember when this story came out, and it was like on Twitter, and the developer, after they said this, had to close their account because they were being harassed. And I was thinking, the guys over at Square Enix, they just released a game called Babylon's Fall, and they could only manage to get on release date not 650 players concurrent, 650 players at all. And I'm just like, you guys have nothing to be. I mean, if you want to talk about someone that's on suicide watch, I mean, the people that worked on Babylon's Fall right now.
Well,
Professor
Us is in the chat. He says, "I'm a UX designer, and when you have 20 different quests, you probably need some sort of marker." Okay, look, I think there's room for quest markers. Sure, it really does. I look at this and I go, again, like syncing my quests and this. I don't know, man. Something about this just overwhelms me, and it feels super artificial to always have all this UI on the screen telling me, here's what quest you're doing, here's what direction to travel in. What the fuck is this fucking guy? Jesus Christ.
He looks cool. Leave him alone.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna say it's not interesting. I'm just looking at all these diamonds and like
it's pretty. It's a pretty to look at game.
It looks nice, I guess. It's just interesting that like Elden Ring is outselling this like 10-1. I know they put a lot of time and work into this game, but I'm gonna make the argument that the stuff they put the time and work into is like what they should have put less time. I think games are focusing way too much on like
collecting feathers,
talking to. It's too much of this like hyper realistic dialogue. Like, do you want to watch two people, get a two-shot of people having these long ass conversations about the world and branching dialogue? I don't want any of this. I don't want to talk to anybody. Do you like talking to people in video games?
No. I thought I did. When I was a kid, I did. It was a really novel idea to be able to have like a dialogue tree, and like you kind of feel like if you say fucked up shit, it matters. But now in every single game, it's like it does not matter what dialogue option you choose. Nothing changes. It's going to be the same thing.
And half the time, it's like, tell me about the Rasamar. And like, the Rasamar come from across the river, child. And then at the end of it, I go, you know what? I would have figured this out regardless, based on other cues. So this is like useless info. I don't know, man. Yeah, I don't want to talk to this guy with the shit on his head.
Professor Aya said Mass Effect Trilogy is about talking to people. And it's like, yeah, but that game also kind of like, I don't know. It's not my thing.
I never got into Mass Effect. I tried to get into it, but
me too.
I couldn't. Yeah, that's why I can't get into Skyrim. People are like, how come you don't play Skyrim, Fallout? I'm like, I just don't want to talk to people.
I like Skyrim and I like Fallout. I skip through all the talking so I could go kill shit.
I really do skip through all the talking. I'm just like, oh my god, these people yammer on.
And see, this is why you guys have never played much of Kingdom Hearts. or like any Square Enix game, because that's like all
worst.
they like to do.
Yeah, but and like you're not even like even the fights is just choosing things in menus in Final Fantasy.
Yeah, I don't know why I used to. You know what? I also hate voice acting. I hate it. It's a way. I just want to read. I just want to read the text. Because back on like the Super Nintendo, I could just read the text. I don't got to listen to a guy let's listen to this guy.
I got it.
Laurel, I'm sorry.
You have a sharp bite sometimes, you know. But it was pretty amazing to see you fly off that tower and blow up the entire.
See, here's the problem. When I have subtitles on, I've already read what he said.
Is this guy a good black guy?
Whoa! I hope so. You know,
and if he's good, do they have a bad black guy to offset?
Him, there has to be an equal number, of course. Here was the worst thing for me. You know that game? Do you guys like Red Dead Redemption or what is it? Red Dead? Yeah, Redemption 2.
It's on my backlog.
All right,
I do like that game.
Here was what. Let me see if I can find the horse conversations. This is why I fucking could not handle this game.
Yeah, these were bad.
The one where you're just riding your horse next
to
here's why I don't think these games should be movies. God damn it, can I find a conversation? In a normal cowboy movie, a conversation does not let. Is this a? Let's see. Give me. Calls out Dutch to his face. I don't want hidden dialogue. I just want dialogue.
Oh, the hidden stuff is the best, though.
No, I just want to.
It was so good that they had to hide it.
The Camptown songs is what everyone came for.
The drunk conversation. What's a good mission? The problem that I have is that in a cowboy movie, you know, the cowboys will say a couple things to each other and then you like change scenes. Because it's a video game, you're just all like riding around. Like it's so much talking.
Hate him, Dutch. He's here for us. I doubt that. No, you're just doubting me. I would never doubt you, Dutch. You always said revenge is a luxury we can't afford.
All right. And so they'd have that conversation and then you would just cut to like the next scene. But here I gotta watch them ride their horses and like talk to each other.
Some late.
Okay, but do you think performance, like if it's good, well performed and well written, does that change anything for you?
No, it's a waste of my time. Again, a book would just tell me, and the four of them rode off into the snow. A movie would just fucking like hard cut to them on their next adventure. Here it's got to be like, so how's your horse holding up, Dutch? Oh, she's a pretty good mare. Yeah, I like she's got good shoes on that horse. Yeah, she's a good horse. How's your wife doing? Oh, you know, I'm just like, oh my God, I don't want to listen to these fucking cowboys talk. Just shut the fuck up. And nothing to say about anything.
I will say I disagree with you on that. I think if it's performed well and like it's interesting as far as like the story goes, which there was parts of Red Dead Redemption that had really good stories. But also
Red Dead Redemption story makes no fucking sense.
You're right.
And I'll tell you why. Hold on. Where's that part he talks to the nun? I'm going to give you guys a spoiler. Here you go. Arthur Morgan talks to a nun.
Brother Dorkins is...
Boop, boop, boop.
Forgive me, but that's the problem. You don't know you.
What do you mean?
I don't know, but whenever we happen...
Hold on. At some point, he tells her.
I'm afraid.
There is nothing to be afraid of, Mr. Morgan. Take a gamble that love exists and do a loving act.
I shot her in the game.
Yeah. Okay. So at this point in the game where he goes, "I'm a bad man. I've done bad things, but maybe I can learn how to love." You have killed about 5,000 people at this point in the game.
Yeah.
You are the greatest mass murderer in American history. Every time you go into your camp, they shouldn't go, "Oh, Arthur's here." What they should go, "Oh my God, the monster who walks among us is here." Anytime they see the O'Doyle clan or whatever the fuck it is, they're like, "There's those O'Driscolls." I'm like, "Where's O'Driscoll City? I've killed 10,000 O'Driscolls at this point." All right, this is the problem with these video games. is that I can't take this like hyper realistic narrative seriously after I just went into a town. I didn't like tackled a bunch of people because I forgot which button was the right one, and then I had to stab them all because my bounty went up.
What's the hyper technical term that all the game journalists like to throw around, the ludonarrative dissonance?
Yeah, I hate saying that word. I call it what's in the game don't match what I'm doing in the game. Because, yeah, literally, oh, man, I'm talking to this nun. She goes, you could learn to love yourself. And I'm like, I just stabbed a whole town full of people. All right? I am a bad, bad man, and there is no changing that.
It does make it funny, though. Like, it's like...
Yeah, well, that's the thing. All these games are funny to me. I can't take any of them seriously. It's like, that's why I like games that are either, like, super fantasy-based. Because Elden Ring, I can be like, well, I'm fighting demons and shit. So there's, like, a level of... there's a level... God dang, what do you call it? A disconnect. I don't want to watch this idiot. Asmongold, you guys know this guy?
Professor Ayas is in the chat saying, well, games are art, and right now you cannot experience the awesomeness of Mass Effect and Horizon Zero Dawn because you can't consume that type of art. That's the truth.
Yeah, but Mass Effect and Horizon Zero Dawn are bad art. I'll make this argument. It's just bad. It's cool. It's like interesting, but Horizon Zero Dawn will never tell a story as good as a good movie. If you want, video games should not be trying to tell movie stories. They should not be trying to tell book stories. They should be trying to tell the story of you getting your ass kicked 100 times by the same fucking boss because it's cool. All right, you're in the story.
That's only one game, though. I feel like then you just need the one game.
Well, that's the genius, though, of I think that's kind of why people are mad, because From Software and Hidetaka Miyazaki, they're saying when we make a game, we start from the ground up and we figure out the combat mechanics, we figure out the kind of game we're making. It's from there that the narrative and everything comes out. He's looking at the game like a much older way to make a game, whereas people who are at Horizon Zero Dawn, they belong to these these bajillion level companies, and they make games by fiat. So that's how you end up with 1 billion triangles on your map. It has to have so many. It has to have so many pickups. It has to so many things that you have to cut in there. My words are gone right now, but I mean, it's a completely different way of doing games. I think that's a big part of why it resonates with people, because it's like this is like how it used to be, like Super Nintendo. You're playing Link to the Past. The game just falls out organically. Things make sense. It does what a video game needs to do, versus I think a lot of these companies, they've got caught up in trying to always escalate the budget, always escalate what they can do, and I think it just tires players out.
I think now Proteus is saying that I could make the same argument for Elden Ring, and Mass Effect is definitely not a movie. Yeah, it's worse than a movie. It tells a worse story. If you want to tell if you want to tell a realistic story, let's put it that way, you should just make a movie or a book or something, because games by their very nature are like completely unrealistic. Okay, as I always tell everybody, Last of Us 2 is the story of a little girl who downs hundreds of bottles of pills and learns to build a sniper rifle. That's not how the real world works. You don't just grab random medication and then go, oh, I have 50 pill bottles, I'm going to learn a new skill. Like, that's not how this works at all. Which is why I liked video games in the NES era, because it was abstract. It was like you had to come up with a story in your head as relating to the abstract images on the screen. Okay, like that's clearly not a tree. It's some stupid garbage. I can't even tell if my guy is a face, but I can imagine like, oh, he's a great warrior and we're on a quest. It's like you're in charge of the story. In these new games, you're not in charge of the story. You're not even a participant. You're just kind of watching somebody else's story.
Yeah, it feels like what we talked about last week, the fucking hotel, where you're just like, okay, yeah, I'm here, but then I got to sit down on the floor, cross my legs, and watch like the teachers like have exposition for 20 minutes while I'm trying to eat my food, and then somebody comes and says I got to leave.
Hold hands
in the middle of my meal.
I think the job of video games I think Dark Souls does it perfectly. That video games are supposed to provide you with visuals and images and various cues. But then you, as the viewer, are supposed to kind of connect the dots yourself and make the story yourself. And I think these games now are just kind of like, listen, man, I wrote a Hollywood movie script, and you're gonna walk through it from the front to the back, and you get to decide if the boat goes left or right at this river. You can decide which bad guy got shot in the head first. And to me, I find that I think video games should be trying to be less realistic, not more realistic.
Mm-hmm. We had a conversation about that just the other day, right?
I did, or you did?
I think we did. We were talking about retro games and how it was a lot more creative with.
Oh, I loved retro games because they looked fucking weird, and they weren't about a little girl who runs around finding bullets and one bullet in the kitchen cupboard. And people should watch my Last of Us review because it's fucking hilarious. It's a fucking bullet scare. Who buys bullets and then puts one bullet in a kitchen cupboard? What is this video game?
Yeah.
If it was a realistic video game, why don't I just find like 80 bullets? Okay? And just I find a gun store and there's 80 of them instead of like, ooh, I gotta check every fucking car to see if there's one bullet in it. What the fuck is who puts one bullet in their car just randomly?
I keep
like
one in my ass for luck.
At one point, you find a kid's birthday table and there's like 5 bullets on it. I'm like, what the fuck birthday was this?
America.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that is the American way. See, because that was the problem I had with Last of Us, is that I'm like, I don't know, like, I don't know how to feel about this kind of storytelling. It's like interesting, but it ultimately feels like compromised. There you go. Press triangle to open a door.
Because you have some semblance of control, and if you wanted to like turn around and walk back into that wall for 45 minutes, it doesn't affect anything else in the story.
Did you guys ever see my ASMR Last of Us video?
No.
Nope.
I remember watching some videos by you, maybe a review, but no, I don't remember that.
Okay, this is my ASMR to point out how pointless these games are. Which is you're supposed to just press one button to end this interaction, but I just made it go on for a full fucking hour because these games are stupid. It's 1 hour of this chick begging for her life with soothing ocean noises.
She doesn't get up at all.
No, it goes on for a fucking hour.
It's on infinite loop.
No, because I walk around. I try to see how far away you can get from her and like kind of push her a little bit. No, don't kill me. And this is why video games are fucking stupid now. Because you can just you have to come to terms with the fact, oh, am I going to hit her? No, I'm not going to hit her. All right. And that's what I run into is that I'm like, it's not real.
That's the fun of the game, though. I feel
the
like
fun of the game is it feels like you're a puppeteer who's being forced to like put on a puppet show.
Yeah, but you also like,
if you make the puppet show stupid, it's like if you make a movie that's about a kid who gets shot 50 times and has to keep traveling back in time to redo the same loop. It's like, congratulations on making a shitty movie because you're bad at the game.
Yeah, isn't that the point though?
It's like, they should make a movie where the main character randomly dies 10 times trying to do something, and then he gets it right on the 11th try. No. And just James Bond. Imagine there's a James Bond movie where he goes to fight the final bad guy, and 10 times he gets shot in the head. On the 11th time, he beats him. And they never explain why. You're like, wait, how come he had the ability to like restart? Like, did he have a superpower or something? It's like, no. All right. Eventually, after an hour, I eventually finish the fight, Master Chief. Do it. Go. Oh my god.
You probably would have bled out by that point.
Oof.
I'm gonna put that on tonight while I go to sleep. Just a woman sobbing.
But this is why I like games like Final Fantasy. And even like Fallout and stuff is like, I know it's more of a cartoon. Like when you really try to set it in the real world. So even Mass Effect, I'm like, yeah, it's kind of cartoonish and aliens and shit. When you try to set it in the real world.
So you're more upset that this is set in like an apocalyptic, realistic future that could happen in real life, except there's
there's plant zombies.
Yeah, and there's like a computer running in the background that's really controlling everything, and it doesn't act like they don't act like humans and shit.
People are bringing up the movie Live, Die, Repeat. It's called Edge of Tomorrow. They never went with that actual subtitle. I don't know, man. I just find it weird. Oh, look, it's the Vito review of Last of Us. It's a good one.
Go check it out.
Go check it out.
I would just add two things. The first is I think that flavor, it can be fine. I think the problem is it feels like almost all AAA development sometimes is just that. It's just like you're being pushed on this one very long theme park ride, and it's always the same ride. And I can't appreciate like the work these people put into it, but just like, look, I just ate 3 of these humongous meals and they were all exactly the same. How am I supposed to feel any different from Horizon Zero Dawn when I may have just got done playing Assassin's Creed, what is it, Valhalla, or the new Far Cry? I mean, they're basically like all the same game. I don't know. It just doesn't do anything for me. I just get tired of it.
It's just so hard to like put these things into context. I remember when BioShock Infinite came out and they're like, it's about slavery and, race relations, and you can eat hot dogs out of the trash to get your health back. And you're like, you see how like these two things are fighting each other, like one of them I'm supposed to take really seriously because it's like racism. And the other one is like eating hot dogs to get my health back.
That game was a lot of fun though.
And having like magic superpower. Yeah, it's kind of fun, but it's like, I don't know. Is that the way to, it's so weird. Maybe I respect it for that, though. Maybe I respect it for, like, confusing me with how I'm supposed to feel about it. It is kind of cool that you can summon a... I mean, I really liked BioShock Infinite's world building. Who did not play BioShock Infinite?
I played it. I like ran through this game faster than any game that I've ever played in my entire life. I loved every second of it.
Yeah, I thought the world building was super fucking cool. It's basically a world where they treat the founding fathers like gods. So they're like, George Washington was a god, Benjamin Franklin was a god because they gave us America, the greatest fucking country on earth or whatever. And I don't know if this is the same part of the game, but like in the opening of the game, you're just like baptized in this fucking weirdo church full of people praying to like George Washington and Benjamin Franklin.
Yeah, it's
I'm
awesome.
like, oh, that's super fucking interesting. Yeah, so that was really cool.
They turned the founding fathers into literal gods. It's awesome.
Yeah, and their Sky City is super duper racist, and you're like, that's also super interesting.
I think I might have played that game on Wii U. Now that I think about it, it might be one of the few games I actually played on that console.
This is a game that should have been like an HBO miniseries, man. This would have been, because it's just, I find it way too interesting.
And the mechanics are awesome. Like the actual gameplay is a lot of fun. Like that fucking hook thing, that spinning hook thing that just like rips out people's skulls.
Yeah,
and shit.
That you can
So
travel
cool.
around. And look, they have this little racist theme park that you go through. Oh, this is fascinating. Where you talk how they had to shoot all these Indians at Wounded Knee. I can't believe they made this fucking game now. You know what? This game is fucking brilliant. I gotta play BioShock Infinite again.
Yeah, I agree.
You go to this little racist museum talking about how we thankfully killed all the Native Americans, the brave white man, and then everybody shit on this game for some reason. I was like, nah, I don't know, man.
The ending is a little fucking weird.
It was also because the entertainment journals, the game journals, they really did not like the creator. They hate that guy with a long
he's not one of the good ones. They don't like the idea of a I'm not even gonna talk about it. Oh wait, there's a good example. Yeah, look at this. Hold on. Here, Benjamin Franklin with the key of knowledge. Way too buff to be Benjamin Franklin, I'm gonna say. That guy was
hilarious.
a showster. George Washington giving the sword. They built this magic American Sky City. God, I gotta play this game again. They gotta do and then here's the worst part is that early on in the game you're like walking around, you're like not supposed to be there, and there's a mixed race couple. Jesus fucking Christ. I can't believe this is a real game. Look, so it's like a mixed race couple, and they brought him up to shame him. You see all the like fucking racist monkeys.
Yeah.
And like, oh my God. You know what? What's the name of the guy who made this game? Come on, you know his fucking name. I made BioShock Infinite. My name's Tommy Fuckhead. God damn it. What's his name? I like that none of you took the time to look it up, by the way. BioShock creator.
Well, you said you're not going to talk about it. I was
Yeah,
going.
that is what you said.
Ken
And you were
Levine.
like, I'm not even going to say. I'm not even going to say what I was going to say.
No. I'm not going to say
I was like,
why
oh,
they.
Great, he's keeping secrets now.
They don't like Ken Levine because they don't like the idea. I think they don't like this hero worship thing. These social justice type people, you know. They don't like the idea of a guy,
the
an auteur. Yeah. Any auteur they always try to tear down Tarantino as well. You see that.
Mhm.
For some reason they don't like the idea that, you know, and I don't know exactly what the motive is. Maybe it's racial, who knows? I don't want to get into it. Point is, this game's great because it's got good black people and bad black people. So
that means it's an A+.
And it's got good white people and bad white people.
And it's the same amount on both sides. There's 50-50. Everybody is equally represented on good and bad.
See, so that's why I actually can respect this more than like Last of Us, is that it is it's an artistic abstraction very clearly. Okay, there's like weird magic and weird rules, and you're not supposed to take it that serious. Like
It's a
the
floating
themes can be
city,
serious.
It's in the sky.
Yeah, it's a cartoon world almost. And it's through that cartoon world, it's taking a look at some deeper themes, which is like super interesting. But it knows it's still done through that almost like tongue-in-cheek, abstract way. But I think when a game gets like super into the realism aspects of like, oh man, look, see when the Chinese, the racist float pops down. This game was tackling some shit. Nobody would do this ever again. Oh my god. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like you can dissect it and not worry about the fact that you died a million times. She's like, yeah, it's more about the exploring the world and taking in the sights. It is like a theme park ride. Dirtbook Khan says Ken Levine's a good storyteller, but a terrible game director. Can't commit to project decisions and development falls into a mess. Well, I know his current game has been in limbo for a while because he started his own little tiny company to make tiny little games. And we don't know when his next game's going to come out. It might take forever.
Apparently, in Jason Schreier's book I read last year, he said that Ken Levine, part of the problem is that he is really good at pulling projects together that probably shouldn't come together. But the problem is they never knew what he'd be commit to afterwards. So it's like, even if we finish this project, we'll be able to finish DLC. We'll be able to move on to something else. Even in the world of game development, which is, it's really hard to predict what's going to happen. You know, what you can rely on is going to be around next quarter. Ken Levine is up there for being pretty unreliable.
Yeah, Derbalon saying BioShock Infinite was saved by another guy stepping in and forcing development to wrap up. Tons of content had to be cut. There are a couple corners cut in BioShock for sure. There's one part where you fight a ghost. It's like the stupidest fucking thing in the world. But I mean, these are like crazy projects, man. I don't even know how any of these projects come together. I mean, this world's got a whole bunch of shit crammed into it. Someone's saying, didn't they throw out like 2 games worth of content in BioShock Infinite? That's fascinating if true. I should read about that. That's interesting.
Sit in the most turbulent game development stories. There's a book called Blood, Sweat, and Pixels. It's got some pretty good stuff in there.
Oh yeah, you've been reading a bunch of books about game development, huh?
I have.
Is that?
It was. Sorry.
I think we were talking. Yeah, is that the one by Schreier? Blood, Sweat, and Pixels.
I think so.
It is actually pretty good, even if
Jason Schreier is a great writer. Yeah, he's one of
Yeah,
these guys you love to hate him, you hate to love him.
Yeah, exactly. The book's good. I can't speak to the guy.
He's a little punk ass bitch. I'm not.
There's the thing about me, Jason Schreier is.
Shut up, Jason. No. Why are you such a good writer? It's such a little punk ass bitch. Fucking ruining everything for everybody. He's
also one that when it came out, like Ubisoft had all these really bad like issues with sexual harassment. It's like, oh, actually, I knew that was happening.
Yeah, he was like,
okay, then why did you say anything?
He was like, oh, I had to wait to confirm it and whatever else. And I'm like, all right, man.
Yeah, sure.
Jason, just shave the head, buddy. What are you doing? Once you got the full wrap around the cranium, shave the sides.
I think it's more powerful and stronger that he keeps it.
Yeah, it's a power move.
It's a power move.
I don't know about that.
I don't care how much my hairline offends you. It's staying.
Let's see him argue with Yang Ye. Let's see. So this was back when he could almost get away. I like the Adidas tracksuit on him, though. That's a good look.
That's a good look. It looks like Moby almost.
Yeah. You know what it is? You know what you got to do, Jason? These frames are too big for his face. Look at the size of those glasses frames, Jason. See how Yang-Ye's got the perfect Kojima fucking frames there, perfectly thin, fits his face. Jason, you're swimming in those glasses, Jason. He also won't shut up about unions. Look, I want to support unions, but these unions are fucking insane. Did you hear about the what do you call it? What the Image Comics union wanted?
Oh, isn't it they want the workers to be able to vote on whether or not series actually continue? Like they can cancel series as a union.
Yes.
That's a standard practice now. That's standard practice, not just at Image, it's at a bunch of companies.
Why would you
they
give
want the
people...
ability? This was a big problem in the New York Times when they had the kerfuffle with Barry Weiss. Part of what their stance was, they demand that they have the ability to cancel any story that editors were looking at, just because they wanted it gone.
It's this one in particular, I remember reading, or I think Vita, did you make a video about this whole thing?
I talked about it. I talked about it on Biggest Problem on the Prop podcast.
Right.
That is a problem.
Yeah, it was something like they wanted, like, even people that like worked in the office to have like a say on what projects were continued.
It's like
so it was like some lady who just ran the copier would be able to just like. No, I don't like
cancel this guy. This guy's a racist. Cancel him. Well, you go, well, we just got one. He's a up and coming indie comic creator. We just landed him. Nope. The janitor says this guy's no good. Because one time he said he didn't like tacos, and I'm pretty sure that was he was coming at the Hispanic community.
It is really bizarre to me that not every single like the internet is so powerful right now that you should be able to just like develop and create stuff on your own and not. Why do any of these companies exist anymore?
Oh,
like,
no,
Marvel and DC is terrible.
Well, this is going to be the last thing I was going to talk about, but the Kotaku right now, everyone at Gizmodo striked, and I was like, please, Gizmodo, fire all these people because Kotaku, they went on strike. And I went, oh God, just fire them. They're useless. They don't know how to write, and they're all no. Apparently, they won. The union won. Let's see. A union announced its victory. There's been a strike dispute over wages and working conditions. And then what did they get? What did you give these people? After 4 days of picketing, GeoMedia has acknowledged the strength and demands of our members and reached a tentative deal with management. No, fire all of them. Look, man.
Specifics?
Yeah, here we go. The list of achievements are a higher salary minimum. All right, that's fine. All right, I think you writers are asking for too much, but fine. Trans inclusive health care. Okay, we got to pay for the hormones now. Fine. 3% annual raise. 15 weeks of parental leave. That's for the dad. What do you think about that? Parental leave.
I think it's good.
Yeah.
You think I should have to pay a guy for 3? What do you call it? That's like a quarter of the year or more. Yeah, right?
I think as long as you've been there for a certain amount of time, like don't start a job and be like, all right, actually, I'm just having a kid. So 15
weeks. You should be there. Usually it's like a year or 6 months to a year. And then but it's like, that's something that like all of Europe has been doing for decades. It makes sense.
What do you do? You just hang out with your dumb fucking baby?
Dude, I wouldn't take it if it were me. If it were given to me, I didn't take it.
Hold on, is it paid leave or is it unpaid leave?
Yeah, but it's through FMLA, so it's not even like the company really pays for it. It's through like a government branch.
Mm-hmm. Wait, the government's paying for this shit? No, it's not.
Partially, yeah. It's like
in America.
Yeah.
Oh, we got to shut that.
It depends
down.
on depends on what state you're in.
No. We're turning the clock back on that. Absolutely. No, you don't get to fucking make fucking spawn fruit from your fucking crotch nuggets, and I got to pay for that shit. That's on you.
Hey, you're paying for a lot of that.
You're in the wrong country, sir.
Yeah. You've made some mistakes.
What the fuck? All right, 12 weeks of severance. Sure. Greater workplace diversity. What does that mean? I want to know. You're gonna need some
What?
specifics.
What are they talking about?
That means that for every good black guy you hire, you have to hire a bad black guy. This guy's really good at his job. Now we got to find one who's not so good. All right. Stronger editorial independence guarantee. Yeah, this is the one I want the specifics, because half the time it usually means like you're not allowed to hire white guys for the next year. Well, good. Aren't you glad Kotaku's back?
Stronger editorial independence. Does that mean like nobody is allowed to censor their shit? Like if somebody wants to write a fucking editorial article, nobody's allowed to tell them that they're not allowed to do it?
Well,
I'm kind of for that.
Remember when wasn't it like IGN that came out and they were like posting like how to help Palestine win the fight against Israel, and you're like, isn't IGN a video game website?
Yeah, they were publishing all kinds of stuff like that in 2020. They were trying to get their activist cred.
Yeah, and then IGN Israel was like, what the fuck? Don't tell them how to help Palestine. They're shooting missiles at us. So it's like a whole fucking thing.
IGN 9.5 out of 10. It really makes you feel like you're in Palestine.
Well, I'm very glad. Oh, and I'm glad that Kotaku's back, so it can tell me about how Evangelion's Megumi Ogata champions the genderless nature of voice acting. Voice acting isn't genderless. It's just that women. No, it's if you want to have a young guy, you just get a lady to do it. Because
that's true.
Yeah, you don't get an old guy to ever do a young lady. No. You don't ever go the other way.
They should start doing that though.
Yeah, come on.
70% of the roles I've done are boys, and I don't really consider myself an actress. Should I really get voice actress? And I'm queer. Okay, she's queer, and you know what? Good on you, Kotaku. This is what I needed to hear. Sorry, you guys couldn't even see that article. Well, anime voice acting while black, overcoming hate while living the dream. For black actors.
Oh my god.
Yo, black anime nerds rule though.
I
These
love
guys are probably
honestly,
so much fun.
Who's giving shit to black voice? I mean, you know what? I don't know the black.
I actually
probably
have a problem
the Japanese.
I have a problem with the article. I have no problem with people. There are a ton of people who are black and anime fans. That's never been an issue.
I mean, they're all pedophiles.
But the article, like it starts out making the suggestion that obviously there's this huge hatred in the anime community against black voice actors, and I was like, when? Prove it.
Yeah.
When did that happen?
They have a subreddit. It's called no. I don't know. I don't have a joke. Fuck it.
It's just like, come on, you got to at least try a little bit to cite evidence, but no.
Well, I'm glad that the black community is making it work in anime. I don't know who's black or white when I watch these shows. I don't know. You're right. It's a voice. Black guy should be able to voice a white. Well, you know what I'm going to say, though?
You can tell they have black energy.
All these black guys are voicing white characters, and you go, hey, how about I voice this black character? You're fired. We don't allow that. You got to let it go both ways. It's a voice. It doesn't matter who does it. Anyway, guys, we've said it all. We've said it all. Is there anything else that needs to be said?
No.
Nope.
No. I think we're done.
You just answer the question. You don't have to. Everyone like sits there for a second. They're like,
so Vito, what is your nuclear bunker plan? How's that coming together?
I'm just gonna. The second the nuke enters the atmosphere, I'm just putting the gun in the mouth and just ending it all. Anyway, no, I don't know. I'll just live through it.
It's not going to happen here. It's going to happen in some fucked up Eastern European country that nobody's ever fucking heard about. And it'll be like, oh, wow, that was scary. Can't believe we let another one of those go off. And then the New World Order will be reined in and we'll all be eating fucking cricket paste. So like none of this shit fucking matters. You have virtually no control over any of it. So why even, I mean, like
you got
I'm
a good point.
Bored.
Yeah,
the only thing you have control over, and I need to get this endorsement, is the buckets, guys. Everybody, we need the Doomsday Prepper buckets. Have you seen Jim Baker's buckets?
Wow. Y'all get that?
Yeah, I love these.
Almost a month now before you can get.
You ever see him stir up that split pea soup in the big giant fucking 10-gallon bucket? He's stirring it, and then he takes a big spoon. ladle out of it.
Yeah, here. Let's take a look. This is how we're gonna survive the apocalypse. Mr. Branderson, you guys gonna have guests tonight? You know, we're not set up for guests right now, and also, my sleep has been all fucked up, so I'm doing this show basically on empty. Sorry, everybody, for the low energy, but I do appreciate everybody for coming by. Real quick, let's see some buckets.
Doomsday clock for global market crash strikes 1 minute to midnight. You hear that, John?
Bible says you're going to throw gold and silver in the streets. Tomorrow, we could look back and say, yesterday was the last day to order and get prepared.
This offer comes with 22 buckets, plus a bonus of 6 additional buckets for a total of 28 buckets.
I want to show you something. All this food is for a gift of $2,500. 8 years of bulk food. This is
how we're gonna survive, everyone.
You're the right preacher. You told me to do this. Look at they got shovels. By the way,
this is survival food. So when the apocalypse comes, you have something to eat. You fucking idiot.
He's stirring up mashed potatoes with a spade.
Do you want to? Yeah, well, that's
awesome.
what you need.
They've been cooking during the show. Wow. And this rice is hot.
Look at that rice.
Yeah, it just came out.
Oh yeah,
delicious.
That guy
we need this to survive when the blood moons open up and fucking blood fills the streets.
I'm hungry. I've been on your throat for about 5 hours right now. I couldn't put my hands in.
I love that he just like throws the rice that was in his fucking hand back in the bucket like a moron. Look, here we go. This is what you want. Yes!
Right. Here, now, you shovel it. Okay, shovel it back with me.
I'm excited for the apocalypse.
In there. Boy,
we're going to be eating like this every night, friends.
Like
every night we're going to be eating. For people who don't know, this is like a Christian show that tells you the apocalypse is coming, and then they sell you buckets of food to survive. Well, Jesus is fighting demons in the street. Yeah. For $2,500, well, they say it's a donation to the church, but then they're going to send you all the buckets to survive when Jesus comes. Look at that!
Look at this.
Oh, yeah!
What I love to put my hands
That's disgusting.
But it's hot. This is.
I would love to put my hand in it, but it's hot.
Look at the broccoli in there.
Wow.
When Jesus comes, you're going to want that cheesy broccoli rice,
Dude, I've had cheesy broccoli before. There's usually a hair more broccoli than that.
Well, this is
a little bit more broccoli than
it's freeze dried, man. Yes, we conquered the apocalypse. Oh yes,
they're stirring it up with shovels.
Nothing can stop. 44 gallons.
2 years or 3 years. You're gonna need some more food.
Can you imagine
Nickelodeon gack?
Imagine your dad gets really into religion and he starts ordering these buckets of rice and cheese goo, and then they start to expire, and he's like, "Well, we gotta fucking eat them." Like, Dad, I'm tired of eating buckets of goo and rice. Oh, look at how happy he is.
Delicious.
Okay, wait. So is this supposed to be marketed towards the heathens who are supposed to be left behind during the apocalypse? Because aren't all the Christians supposed to get sucked up to heaven?
Well, he tries to tell you, in the Bible, before you get sucked up, there's, all these weeks of hellfire and the horses of the apocalypse. You don't know what's going to happen. So you got to pay me for my buckets.
Yeah, but this is really deep. I mean, this isn't mainstream Protestantism. I mean, these are like the radicals of even CBN. These are the really deep.
Jim Baker went to prison for fucking. He was a preacher in the 80s, and then he went to fucking prison for fraud because he was stealing money from the parishioners. And he got out of prison. He went back to doing the exact same shit. He just came back, and nobody cares.
They're buying his televangelists.
They're buying his buckets.
Speaks the word of God. Of course of course nobody cares. How are they gonna know what God said if he's not around to tell them?
There was one video where he goes, "The man who discovered the blood moons is here," but I can't find it. Everybody, thanks for coming by. It's been a very chaotic show. I need to prepare more topics in the future. I'll have people send in topics. I need to have voicemails,
I'll try to help come up with some stuff.
We need some topics. Everyone, don't forget to subscribe to Bobster, the biggest man on YouTube. 38 subscribers. Can we get him to 39 tonight? I think we could. I think we could make it happen.
Help him out.
Pete, where do we go to find you?
Happy Warrior Podcast, and you'll see my articles floating around the internet.
Happy Warrior Podcast is on Facebook or on YouTube, right?
It is. That's not usually how people who follow my show listen to it, but that is
maybe
an
they
option.
could find it.
And there it is, right
Happy
there, my
Warrior.
Chris Ferguson interview. I was just editing that right before the show, so I need to add a description still.
Yes, the Chris Ferguson, and there you are. Look at you.
I know.
I hope you're not dressed up for this show. I hope you're not dressed up for this show, because this is not a show you got to wear a tie. I tell you what. And of course, John, who breaks bad news, the man, the myth, the legend.
Yeah, right there. That's
we're
the
gonna
one.
get you. We're gonna get you to 10K. You should have. How many do you have on TikTok again?
I got like six. I'm 2,000 away from 600,000 followers.
600,000 TikTok followers. This man is
Follow
killing
me
it.
on Twitter too. It's John Break Bad News. The character limit fucked me on my.
John, am I not following? I'm following.
You following me?
Yeah, John Break Bad News. You got to give me some more TikTok advice.
I will. I've been busy the last couple of weeks.
Don't worry.
Things
about
are
it.
slowing down. So.
We'll figure it out. All right, everybody. Oh, wait, did Nicole was here. Bobster says is number 39. We have Nicole is going to be subscriber number 39. We're going to make it happen. If she can even find you on YouTube. There's
Nicole,
like 5 other Bobsters you have to go past.
Nicole, if you send Bobster your address, he will send you a lock of hair for that.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
He'll send you it all. We've done 39. It all, folks. Oh, what do I promote? You know what? I'm gonna go check out the biggest problem in the universe. Well, you can find it on YouTube as well. Subscribe to the biggest problem in the universe. I actually forgot to make the thumbnail for our most recent episode with Nick Rekieta, the great lawyer.
Great episode. Go check it out.
It was a great episode. Thank you, everybody, for coming by. We had a ton of fun, and I'm gonna look. We're figuring out this show, the stream, everything else. I'm going to have other people bring topics and news articles or something. I need a news gopher. John, be my news boy.
You know what we should have talked about today? Apparently fucking, what's his face is back. The cuck lord?
Jared from Subway? Oh,
no,
not Jack Murphy.
Jack Murphy's back.
Order. Yeah. Good old Jack. Well, maybe we'll talk about the Jack attack next week.
That'd be fun. I'm down for that.
All right. We'll figure it out. Thanks, everybody. Have fun. Peace and love. Take care of yourself.
Love
and
you
don't
guys.
let the door hit you
Adios,
on the way
amigos.
out.
Bye-bye.